Hello, fans, and welcome to This Day in Baseball, where we're going to bring you a full radio broadcast of today's game. And before we do that, I just want to thank Classic Baseball Radio, and there's a link in the notes where you can check out their full channel. They have many great radio broadcasts. And while you're listening to today's game, if you want to check out much more about the game and the players, look on the links below, and you're going to see links to player pages, the date the game happened, the year it happened, and the play-by-play. Enjoy the game, and check out the links while you're watching the game, and please don't forget to hit the subscribe button so that every time new content comes out, you're going to get that firsthand. And thank you again for checking out This Day in Baseball, and enjoy the game.
It's play ball here in the Polo Grounds. The New York Mets in the opener of this doubleheader with Shea on the mound will be trying for their third straight win. They won the opening game of this four-game weekend series with a come-from-behind effort, scoring twice in the last of the ninth inning for a 5-4 thriller, and won yesterday afternoon on the brilliant pitching of lefty Al Jackson, who went the route for the first complete game victory turned in by a member of the Mets hurling staff this year. This year has made a start against Milwaukie. He lost to Warren Spahn 6-1, and made a start against Cincinnati and was beaten. So Jay has won none and lost two, and Milwaukie has been a tough club for Jay Hook during his career. His lifetime record against the Braves, he has won 3, but lost 11. Pitching for Milwaukie will be Tony Cloninger, a 23-year-old fireballing right-hander from Iron Station, North Carolina. And when you watch him pitch, the way he throws, you think of iron because he has the strength and throws as hard probably as any right-hander in the National League. Cloninger has made only one appearance this year. That was in relief. Last year, he won 8 and lost 3. And against the Mets last year, Cloninger won 2 while losing 1. Now the leadoff hitter of the game, Ty Klein, left-handed batting center fielder, is in against right-hander Jay Hook, as Jay bids for his initial win of the year. Once again, a tough day for the pitchers. The wind a factor in the game and blowing from right across toward left. Now Jay into his windup. Here's the opening pitch of the day. A little bit high. 1 ball and no strikes. Veteran Tom Gorman, the crew chief of this good umpiring team behind the plate. Big Stan Landis calling the plays around first. Ed Sudol umpiring second. And Al Foreman is at third. Right in there, a called strike. 1 ball, 1 strike. Today's doubleheader, the Mets will be on the road for a week. They wind up their trip in Pittsburgh next Sunday afternoon. Dixie Walker coaching at first. JoJo White at third. Down around the knees inside. Ball 2-1 now on Ty Klein. Ty Klein acquired by the Braves from the Cleveland Indians. Braves have a close tie with Cleveland since Bertie Tebbetts is now managing the Cleveland Ball Club. Now the 2-1 delivery by Hook. A little bit low, ball 3-1 on Ty Klein. Ty hitting at 205 on 9 for 44 in the early going of the National League campaign. Now Hook behind on the count. Charlie Neal in close at third. That's over. Strike 2 called. He was taken. And we have a full count, 3-2. Klein is a slender left-hand hitter with a lot of running speed. Likes to get those leg hits on the left side of the diamond, likes to bunt, and Neal has to play him in close at third, but now with the count 2 strikes, he drops back. 3-2 delivery, strike 3 call. So Jay Hook, behind on the count, 3-1, comes back to strike out Ty Klein. One away and nobody out. Here's veteran Frank Boley. Hitting 293. Jay Hook into his windup. Triggers a fastball out the outside edge. 1 ball and no strikes. Oh, we have a beautiful day right now. 45 minutes ago, it was actually sprinkling a little bit. In comes the pitch to Bowling. That's a strike. A knee-high fastball. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jay relies on his fastball, curve, and slider. and has good control. The 1-1 delivery. Low, ball 2, 2-1. The infield playing Frank Bowling straight away. The outfield just about straight away. Center fielder Jim Hickman astride to left. Pitching 2-1. Curve is ripped foul. Back upstairs, no play. Count even now on Bowling, 2 balls and 2 strikes. For the Milwaukee Braves, this is but the beginning of a lengthy road trip. They'll spend the night here in New York and board an early morning jet for the West Coast, where they play in Los Angeles tomorrow night. Pitching 2-2. Curve swung and missed and struck him out. That was the beauty of the curveball that Shea Hook broke off to fan Frank Bowling. 2 outs and nobody on. Here's Henry Aaron. Henry hitting at .333. Anytime you're in a close ball game and this fella comes up to hit, you really shudder. Now Hook cranking up the pitch to Aaron. He goes to a fastball, a strike on the outside corner. Jim Hickman astride toward left center against power-hitting Henry Aaron. The pitch thrown by Jay Hook. A little bit inside. He started to go, and then he held up, and the count is even 1 ball and 1 strike. Henry, a lifetime 315 hitter. And last year he hit .323. Only twice in his career has he been under 300. Breaking ball outside and low, 2 balls and a strike. Has an even 300 homers. He's hit 2 this year, 1 against the Mets in Milwaukee and 1 here in the Polo Grounds in the opening game of this series. Last year was his best for home runs. He hit 45. Swing and a miss. 2-2 now on Hank Aaron. So Hank Aaron, in 9 years, has cracked 300 home runs. He has averaged over 30 home runs a year, and he's averaged over 100 RBIs a year. Count 2-2 on Aaron. Pitch thrown by Hook. Just missed the outside corner. And the string is out 3-2. That was closer than the eyes of the cross-eyed flea. Now Choo-Choo setting up the mitt. 3-2 delivery. A foul ball hit back towards the screen. Choo-Choo whirls, but he has no play. And Hook goes 3-2 on Aaron once again. The Mets are set up defensively with Eddie Kranepool at first, Ron Hunt at second, Al Moran at short, and Charlie Neal at third. The outfield has Frank Thomas in left, Jim Hickman in center, Duke Snyder is in right. Jay Hook on the mound, and Choo-Choo Coleman behind the plate. Contailing that bat around, now cocks it off the right shoulder. The 3-2 pitch. Foul tipped off the mask. Tom Gorman, and the count again goes 3-2. JoJo White, the third base coach of the Braves, really plays Henry Aaron deep. He doesn't stay on the coaching lines. He retreats down that left field line to give him plenty of room. 3-2 as Hook swings into his windup. Now the pitch. A high fly ball that is going, gone. A home run for Hank Aaron. For Henry Aaron, his third home run of the year. That ball hit off the roof in left field. Never any doubt about it. He put that one into orbit. That Aaron is just too much. He is quite a hitter. Braves lead 1-0. He fouled off the 3-2 pitch twice and then tied into it to belt the home run. Eddie Matthews up. Inside and low, it's ball 1. There are 6 players in the National League now tied for the home run lead with 3 each. Among the 6, the New York Mets' Duke Snider. Eddie Matthews off to a fast start this year. Eddie hitting at 385, so he's among the top 10 hitters in the National League. Right now, the Phillies' Don Demeter leads the league in hitting. Inside and low. Ball 2, 2-0 now on Eddie Matthews. Demeter, who had a big year for the Phillies last season, off to a blistering start, hitting at 450. Behind on the count, delivers to Matthews, inside and low, ball 3. Eddie Matthews and Henry Aaron combined have accounted for 701 home runs. Matthews has hit 400, Henry Aaron has hit 301. 3-0 delivery. He takes all away, and it's over for a call strike, 3-1. Matthews only 31 years old and already with 400 homers. Henry Aaron is 29 years old. Now it's 3-1 on Eddie Matthews. A line drive hit foul, no play. That ball goes into the seats down the right field line. And we have a full count, 3-2. It's interesting to note that Hank Aaron was really unhappy about the play he got in the paper when he hit his 300th home run. It was just one little line squib, and he said, that isn't right. Well, I agree with him because it's not every ball player that hits 300 homers. Foul back by Eddie. Full count, 3-2. Count 3-2 on Eddie Matthews. Now hooked into his windup. Down comes the pitch. Fastball over, strike 3 call. Shea struck out the side. He was behind on Matthews, 3-0, and comes back to strike him out. 1 run, 1 hit, the home run by Henry Aaron. No errors and none left on. The score in the middle of the first inning, the Braves won, and the New York Mets coming to bat.
Beer is Rheingold, the dry beer. Think of Rheingold whenever you buy beer. It's not bitter, it's not sweet. It's a dry flavored treat. Won't you try? Extra dry Rheingold beer.
On the mound for the Milwaukie Braves, the opener of today's doubleheader is 23-year-old Cloninger, C-L-O-N-I-N-G-E-R. The youngster from North Carolina last year won 8 and lost 3. And lifetime in his short major league career, he has a strong record of 15-5. As the ball players say, he throws seeds. He really throws hard. Now Jim Hickman is up against Cloninger. Down comes the pitch. He misses inside. 1 ball and no strikes. You know, talking about the combined home run hitting power of Eddie Matthews and Henry Aaron, combined they've hit 701. Combined the totals of Gil Hodges and Duke Snider, and it's 762. Here's the pitch on the way. That's over for a call strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Then to Hodges and Snider add the 257 hit by Frank Thomas. That trio of New York Mets has accounted for over 1,000 home runs. 1,019. 1-1 delivery. Breaking ball outside and low. 2-1 now on Jim Hickman. Jim hitting at 320. 8 hits in 25 times at bat, and the last 2 game victories, he has been very instrumental. Day before yesterday, Jim had a double and a triple. The 2-1 delivery. A high hop fly on the left side of the diamond. Calling for it, shortstop Roy McMillan. He has it for the out. 1 away and nobody on. Coming on to hit now will be Ron Hunt. Well, in this series, young Ron Hunt has really been haunting his former organization, the Milwaukie Braves. He was signed by the Braves when he came out of high school in St. Louis, Missouri. And started to work his way up through their farm system. Last year was his first season to hit over 300 in the minor leagues. And he was named the top second baseman in the Texas League. It's thrown by Cloninger, too high. It's ball one. You don't have to send Hunt up to bunt because Ron has good power. Duke Snyder on deck, and then Frank Thomas. Here's the windup pitch by Cloninger. A ground ball hits the shortstop. McMillan dashes in, picks it up, throws in time. Ron is out by a full running stride. Fast fielding by McMillan. The ball not hit hard. He had to go to his right. He also had to come in on it. Now Duke Snyder is up. Duke started the year with 298 home runs. Now check that. 390 and has already hit 3, so he's only 7 away from that 400 mark. Too high, it's ball one. I don't know what we were thinking. Duke can stay healthy at all, he would seem almost a certainty to get that 400 this year. A high fly hit deep to right field, but he didn't pull it. Aaron backing up by the bullpen is under it, and he makes the catch. Had that ball been pulled, it was easily a home run, but it was hit to right center. And Aaron went back in front of the bullpen in right center field to take it for the out. No runs, no hits, no errors, and none left on. At the end of one inning, the score. The Milwaukee Braves won, and the New York Mets nothing. Los Angeles Dodgers will be opening the next homestand for the New York Mets. When they do so on April 29th, it will be the first night game of the home season. Sandy Koufax picking up where he left off early last year at the tremendous strikeout pace. Of course, he'll have with him Don Drysdale. Drysdale and Koufax representing possibly baseball's 1-2 pitching bunch the best. Tommy Davis, the batting champion from last year, Maury Wills, Ron Fairley, Willie Davis, Frank Howard, Bill Skowron. The Dodgers come in for 2 night games, April 29th and April 30th. So while the Mets are away next week on a 1-week road trip going to Philadelphia, Chicago, and Pittsburgh, tickets for the next homestand will be on sale at the advanced sale window here at the Polo Grounds, Grand Central Station near the 42nd and Vanderbilt ramp, and the Long Island waiting room of the Penn Station. Remember, too, for your added convenience, that ticket reservations may be made at all Howard clothes stores in the metropolitan area. This is kind of a funny day. First it was cloudy and sprinkled a little bit. Then the skies broke and it was clear, and now it's cloudy again. Now Norm Larker comes up against Jay Hook in the top half of the second. Real good crowd at the Polo Grounds today for this first doubleheader of the home season. Charlie Neal on the edge of the grass at third against Larker, a left-hand batter. The rest of the infield around to right. Fastball over, strike one call. Lee May, the left fielder, will hit next, and then Joe Torre. Now Hook winding. Delivers off the outside edge. 1 ball and 1 strike. Norm Larker, line drive hitter. Feet close together, leans and takes, and it's a little bit inside. Ball 2 and 1. After the day is over, the Mets and Braves will already have played 8 of their scheduled 18 games for the year. The 2-1 pitch to Larker, fouled back to the screen, no play, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Braves swept a 4-game series in Milwaukee. The Mets have taken the first 2 games of the 4 games set here. Now Jay Hook. Into his windup, delivers. And off-speed pitch that misses ball 3. A full count, 3-2. Shea lifetime against the Braves is 1-3, lost 11. Now the payoff pitch to Larker. Ball 4, it's outside, and he walked him. So Jay Hook has walked the leadoff batter in the top of the second. For those of you who may have missed the scores of yesterday's game, the Phillies beat St. Louis 6-2. Pittsburgh down to Cincinnati 4-2. The Cubs beat San Francisco 4-0. Billy Pierce losing for the first time at Candlestick Park in San Francisco after 14 victories. Lee May is up, and it's inside and high, ball 1. And the Houston Colt 45s beat the Dodgers 9-6. The Dodgers have been erratic in the field. They have committed 17 errors in their first 11 games. Nobody out, Lee May hitting with Norm Larker on first base. A blooper popped up on the left side of the diamond. Calling for it is Al Moran. On the rim of the left field grass, he takes it. Jay Hook making a good pitch. He hit Lee May right off the fist. One away and one on. The batter on now will be Joe Torre. In the American League yesterday, the Yankees were beaten by Washington 7-1 last night. The Orioles, now in first place by a half game, beat Cleveland 8-1. The Red Sox won a 15-inning game from Detroit 4-3. The Angels beat Kansas City last night 7-4, and the White Sox outslugged Minnesota 10-7. Outside and low, ball 1 to Joe Torre. The White Sox game, Dave Nicholson, who came to Chicago in the Baltimore trade, had a triple and a grand slam home run. Mets have the infield looking for the double play. Torrey, strong right-hand batter. Now Jay up in pitching position. Delivers. And the ball is popped foul down the right field line, headed toward the crowd. Eddie Cranepool has no play. So this one is in as a souvenir as Joe Torre fouls it off. The breeze really whipping across the field from right toward left. Braves in front 1-0 on a home run by Henry Aaron. For Aaron, his third of the year. He hit 9 against the Mets last year, and he has 3 this year. The 1-1 delivery. Outside and low, scooped out by Choo-Choo, and the count 2 balls and a strike. The brief life of the New York Mets, Henry Aaron has established himself as the top tormentor. Another real tormentor has been Don Demeter, now leading the National League in batting, of the Philadelphia Phils. There goes the runner. 2-1 pitch. Ground ball hit the shortstop. Moran will have to go to first base. In time, they put the hit and run play on and broke up the double play on a ground ball hit to short. Torrey is thrown out and Larker moves to second. Now there are 2 away. Norm Larker is on second, and the hitter is the shortstop, Roy McMillan. Has 8 hits, including 1 home run. First base is open. The pitcher is scheduled up next. Now Jay up in pitching position. Delivers to McMillan. A curve that's over a strike on the outside corner. Jay would like to get Roy McMillan to have that pitcher leading off in the next inning. Not many things a pitcher would rather do than to have the opposing pitcher leading off an inning. Now Jay steps off, chasing Joe Torre, or rather Norm Larker, back towards second. A fly ball to center field, fairly deep. Back goes Jim Hickman. Now he's under it. Makes the catch to side his out. No runs, no hits, no errors, 1 left on. At the end of an inning and a half, the score, the Braves 1 and the Mets 0. Enjoy a glass along with the game. Now Before Frank Thomas leads off in the home second, we'll pause for station identification.
This is WGY 810 on your radio dial, Schenectady.
Bob Murphy with Lindsey Nelson and Ralph Kiner from the Polo Grounds. The Mets trail the Braves 1-0 as they face Tony Cloninger in the last half of the second inning. Frank Thomas leading off against Cloninger. Broken bat, line drive, base hit, going to left field, beyond the reach of Roy McMillan. Thomas takes the turn, and he's on. Well, Frank broke his bat swinging at that fastball, but he still hit it well enough to hit it on a line beyond the reach of McMillan and on into left for a base hit. Now Eddie Kranepool is coming up. Eddie hitting 263 on 5 for 19, including his first Major League home run. His first Major League home run, coming at the age of 18, was into the upper deck in right field off of a talented right-hander, Bob Shaw. Now Cloninger up in pitching position. Delivers to the plate. A ground ball sliced towards short. Base hit. Beyond the reach of McMillan. Thomas around second, holds up there. Eddie Kranepool hit the ball hard on Cloninger and hit a ground ball just beyond the reach of McMillan into left field. Now the Mets have something going. Runners at first and second, nobody out. And Choo-Choo Coleman coming on. On the edge of the grass is third in the event of a bunt. Marker playing back deep, not looking for a bunt of any kind. The outfield around toward right. Young Tony Cloninger, hard-throwing right-hander, is set. Here's his pitch on the way. A swing and a ground ball hit down the first baseline. Larker makes the play at first. The runners move up. Mets are up there hitting that first pitch against Tony Cloninger. Choo-Choo Coleman grounding out to Norm Larker, but it moves the runners along to second and third. Now the hitter is Charlie Neal. Charlie trying to fight his way out of an early season batting slump. Has been held to 4 hits in 34 times at bat. So there's nothing Charlie would rather do than break out right here against Tony Cloninger. Thomas on third and Kranepool on second. Up, pitched by Cloninger. A check swing and a foul ball. Charlie didn't mean to hit that one. He was trying to get out of the way of it. Now Neal cocks the bat as he waits on Tony Cloninger. Cloninger winding. In comes his pitch. Too high. Charlie had to get out of the way of that. He really threw it. Skies are overcast and just a few raindrops are falling. It's quite a bit darker. And Tony Cloninger would be no joy to hit against on a dark afternoon. He really is a fireballer. Now the windup, pitch to Neal. Swing and a miss. 1 ball and 2 strikes. One away. Mets trailing 1-0. Last half of the second. New York with Thomas on third and Kranepool on second. Frank hit a line drive to left for a hit, and Eddie Kranepool sliced the ground single to left field. Joe Torre crouched behind the plate standing for the next pitch. Cloninger holds the ball in front of him. Goes over the head. Down comes the arm. Breaking ball off the outside corner. And it's 2-2 on Charlie Neal. Solly Hemus tucking it up on the coaching lines at first. Cookie Lamichetto patrolling the lines at third. Now it's 2-2 on Charlie Neal. Cloninger over the head. In comes the pitch. A line drive, base hit. Thomas shoots at the score. Kranepool around third is heading in. The Mets lead 2-1. ball and 2 strikes. He went right with the pitch and hit it on a line into right field. Now Moran is the hitter. Pitch to him. Fastball outside. Against base runner Charlie Neal. 2 runs are in on 3 hits off Tony Cloninger here in the bottom half of the second inning. Next pitch on the way. Gets away from the catcher. Charlie Neal is going on down to second base. He takes the turn and holds up there. We'll wait for the scoring as the wild pitcher fastball. Torrey had his foot on it but was unable to hold it. It'll be a pass ball charged to Joe Torrey, and that puts Charlie Neal in scoring position. Al Moran hitting with a count of 2-0. Shea Hook is out on the on-deck circle. Crowd really backing the Mets now as they rise to the occasion. Pitching 2-0. Too high for all 3. Moran had to sit down to get out of the way of that one. And it's 3-0 now on Al Moran. Al has 2 hits and 17 times up. He got a base hit in the game yesterday. Al Moran is a native of Detroit, Michigan. Cloninger with a 3-0 count. The young right-hander eyes the runner Charlie Neal, then pitches. Fastball over a call strike, 3-1. Moran was looking all the way on that one. Right at the start of the game, the lights were turned on due to the overcast, but then the sun broke through and they were turned off. Now it is overcast once again and fairly dark. The count on Al Moran. Mets lead 2-1. The pitch to him is high, ball 4, and the Mets have 2 men on. Shea Hook coming on to bat, his first time up. Thomas got the New York Mets going with a single to left field. Eddie Craneville hit a ground single to left. Coleman moved the runners up when he grounded out to the first baseman Larker. Neal singled to right field, scoring both Thomas and Craneville. Moran has walked. Neal had gone to second on a fastball. Shea 1 for 3, batting at 333. Pretty good hitting pitcher. Now the pitch to him. Foul ball and a check swing as that one goes back toward the dugout. Now Bobby Bragan has sent the sign to the Milwaukie bullpen for left-hander Denny LeMaster to warm up. Next pitch to Hook. Is a hook that's inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Jim Hickman is the on-deck batter, hoping that Jay can keep it going for him here in the bottom half of the second inning. Now Jay steps out of the batter's box for a moment, and he wants to talk to Sally Hemus. Well, we hope you've got plenty of Rheingold Extra Dry on hand to add to your enjoyment of the baseball and the weekend. Why not open up or order up a cold glass of Rheingold Extra Dry? It's beer as beer should taste. Charlie Neal on second, Al Moran on first. 1 man out. 2 runs are in. Here's the pitch by Cloninger. Outside and high. Ball 2. 2-1 to Shea Hook. Matthews calls time now, and he'll walk to the mound to try and settle down Tony Cloninger. Cloninger retired the side in order in the first, though Snyder, the third man up, hit a long fly out by the bullpen in right center that Aaron caught. Now the runners take a lead. The 2-1 delivery. Inside and low, it's ball 3. Now we have a 3-1 count on Shea Hook. So Tony Cloninger is one pitch away from loading the bases for Jim Hickman. And that brings Bobby Bregan bouncing up the dugout steps and on his way to the mound. Bregan realizing the peril here with a count 3-1 on the pitcher. Out to the mound now to talk to his pitcher, Tony Cloninger. Jello takes the opportunity to leave the lines at third and come and talk to Casey Stengel. They also have a right-hander, Ryan Shea, now warming up in the bullpen for Milwaukee. Cookie Lavagetto and Casey Stengel talking it over. Count has gone 3-1. Runners on first and second, 1 out. 2 runs in, and New York leading Milwaukee 2-1 in the bottom half of the second. Set to go back to the action. The count 3-1 on Jay Hook. Here's Cloninger into his stretch. He makes the stop. And the pitch on the way. Strike called. A fastball over 3-2. The Mets had Jay Hook taking on that one. They'd like nothing better than for him to coax the walk to load him up for Jim Hickman. The runners take a short lead. The runners are going. The pitch is bounced foul. A low inside pitch that Jay barely got his bat on. He fouls it off, but the runner's moving. Now that shows you the confidence that Casey has in Jay Hook. He had the runners going on 3-2. Now let's keep an eye on the runners. Charlie Neal at second, Al Moran at first. They hold up. The pitch, ball 4, the bases are loaded. The base is loaded for Jim Hickman. Tony Cloninger, after giving up a run on 3 hits. Suddenly he had the plate start to move around on him and now has walked Al Moran and Jay Hook. Number 8 and 9 men in the batting order. The bases are loaded. And the leadoff batter, Jim Hickman, is the 7th man up in the inning. Mets with a chance here to build a lead. Now Cloninger will use the full windup. Here's his pitch. Swing and a miss, strike 1. Count on Jim Hickman. Braves have the infield playing toward the middle, figuring Hickman will hit the ball up the middle, and the outfield just about straight away. A drive hit deep to left field by Jim Hickman is going to be caught. Back on the path of May, he makes the catch. Neal tagged up. He's coming down the line to score. Jim Hickman made a strong bid for a grand slam home run. Lee May caught the ball on the warning path. The ball wasn't pulled too much. It was over toward left center, and May went back on the warning track to get it. Now the Mets have 3 runs in and lead 3-1. The run batted in for Jim Hickman. His 5th. He leads the New York Mets in RBIs. Now Ron Hunt is up with 2 down. Runners on first and second. Cloninger off the stretch delivers outside and low. given up by Tony Cloninger. Moran is on second, Hook on first with 2 men out. Now Cloninger up in pitching position. Delivers to Hunt. He holds up, and the pitch is over. He had him tied up with that one. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now to Ron Hunt. The pitch by Cloninger outside and low. 2-1. Doubleheader here today in the Polo Grounds. Cardinals and Phillies played 2 in Philadelphia. Reds and Pirates play a single game. Houston and the Dodgers will play a doubleheader on the West Coast. The Cubs and Giants play 2 on the West Coast. It's 2-1 now to Ron Hunt. The pitch by Cloninger is outside and low, ball 3. And now Cloninger is 1 pitch away from loading the bases for Duke Snyder. So he has a big pitch to make right here with a count of 3-1. Rookie Ron Hunt. Al Moran is on second. Jay Hook on first. There are 2 away. 3 runs are in. Waiting for the pitch. Here it is. Ball 4. That loads him up for Duke Snyder. Now Bobby Bergen, standing hands on hip, is looking toward the bullpen. He's got Denny LeMaster, a left-hander, and right-hander Ron Shea warming up. Cloninger now has given up 3 runs, 3 hits, and walked 3 in the bottom half of the second. Snyder will be the 9th man up in the inning. Now here's Bregan coming out of the dugout. This is going to be all for Tony Cloninger. Left-hander Denny LeMaster is being brought in now. Denny LeMaster, young left-hander of the Milwaukie Braves, is coming on to take over the pitching with the bases loaded and 2 men down. While the pitching change is being made, let's check the scores of the other ball games. In the National League, in the 6th inning at Philadelphia, Don Demeter, who's hitting .450, hit a 2-run homer off Ron Taylor. The Phillies now lead the Cardinals 3-2 at the end of 6. Cal McClish, the Philadelphia hurler. Gene Oliver hit a 2-run homer for St. Louis in the 2nd. At the end of 1 at Pittsburgh, Cincinnati 2, Pittsburgh 1. Jim Maloney for the Reds and Al McBean hurling for the Pirates. The Colt 45s and the Dodgers have a doubleheader in Los Angeles. The Cubs and the Giants have a doubleheader in San Francisco. In the American League, at the end of an inning and a half in Washington, Yankees 2, Washington 1. Ralph Terry trying for his 3rd win, being opposed by Claude Osteen. At the end of 2 and a half, Detroit nothing, Red Sox nothing. Hank Gary against Bill Monbouquet. The Red Sox have taken the first 3 games of that series. Cleveland failed to score in the first. Sam McDowell has been replaced by Jim Perry in the last of the first inning in Baltimore. Steve Barber is on the mound for the Baltimore Orioles. The Birds now of Billy Hitchcock are occupying the top rung in the American League. They're underway in Comiskey Park, Chicago. The Twins did not score off Eddie Fisher in the first. Rowland pitching for Minnesota. Otherwise, in the American League, it'll be Los Angeles playing later at Kansas City. This will be the 5th appearance for Denny LeMaster. 4 previous outings, he's worked only 3 2/3 innings, giving up 3 earned runs. Well, here we go. Duke Snyder batting with the bases loaded, 2 men down. Mets lead the Braves 3-1. We're in the bottom half of the 2nd inning. Last Last year with the Braves, Denny LeMaster won 3 and lost 4. 6'1", 185-pound southpaw from Corona, California. He's into his windup. The pitch to Snyder, and the ball is popped up near the mound. Who's going to get it? Calling for it is the pitcher. They bump together, but the ball is held on to by Denny LeMaster. Matthews and LeMaster went together, but they held on to it. You don't often see the pitcher take the ball, but Denny LeMaster figured no one else was going to do it. He'd have to grab it, and he did. So he gets out of the jam on one pitch. In the second inning, 3 runs, 3 hits, no errors, 3 left on. At the end of 2 innings to score, it's the New York Mets 3 and the Milwaukee Braves 1. New York 39, New York. Now they are turning the lights on as we go to the 3rd inning, and also we're turning the lights on behind the microphone as we present Ralph Kiner.
Bob, on the mound is Jay Hook taking his warm-up pitches. He had a long wait while the Mets batted around, sent 9 men to the plate. In the bottom half of the second inning, when they scored the only 3 runs of the ball game, Jay will work to the pitcher's position.
The Baltimore Orioles. The Birds now of Billy Hitchcock are occupying the top rung in the American League. They're underway in Comiskey Park, Chicago. The Twins did not score off Eddie Fisher in the first. Rowland pitching for Minnesota. Otherwise, in the American League, it'll be Los Angeles playing later at Kansas City. This will be the 5th appearance for Denny LeMaster. 4 previous outings, he's worked only 3 2/3 innings. Given up 3 earned runs. Well, here we go. Duke Snyder batting with the bases loaded. 2 men down. Mets lead the Braves 3-1. We're in the bottom half of the second inning. Last year with the Braves, Denny LeMaster won 3 and lost 4. 6'1", 185-pound southpaw from Corona, California. He's into his windup. The pitch to Snyder, and the ball is popped up near the mound. Who's going to get it? Calling for it is the pitcher. They bump together, but the ball is held on to by Denny LeMaster. Matthews and LeMaster went together, but they held on to it. You don't often see the pitcher take the ball, but Denny LeMaster figured no one else was going to do it. He'd have to grab it, and he did. So he gets out of the jam on one pitch. In the second inning, 3 runs, 3 hits, no errors, 3 left on. At the end of 2 innings to score, it's the New York Mets 3 and the Milwaukee Braves 1. Now they are turning the lights on as we go to the 3rd inning, and also we're turning the lights on behind the microphone as we present Ralph Kiner.
Bob, on the mound is Jay Hook taking his warm-up pitches. He had a long wait while the Mets batted around, sent 9 men to the plate. In the bottom half of the second inning, when they scored the only 3 runs of the ball game, Jay will work to the pitcher's position. It'll be Denny LeMaster coming up to bat for the first time. He pitched 1 ball as he came in relief of Tony Cloninger and got Duke Snyder on a pop-up. LeMaster batting from the right-hand side. He's a left-hand pitcher. Comes to bat. It'll be LeMaster, who is 0 for 1 so far this year. Then Ty Klein, and then Frank Bowling. And the first pitch is hit to right field. An easy fly ball for Duke Snyder. He moves to his left. Makes the catch for out number 1. So the Braves, trailing by a score of 3-0, have 1 out now here in the top of the 3rd. And the batter coming on, left-hand batter, Ty Klein. Was called out on strikes in the first inning. 1 of 3 struck out by Jay Hook. Jay, in striking out the side, had a home run by Hank Aaron sandwiched in between his second and third strikeouts. The score 3-1 in favor of the New York Mets. And the first pitch by Jay to the left-hand batter is a strike call, a fastball through. Now now back to the plate with a change of pace. It's a little bit low. 1 ball and 1 strike. Now Hook asks for time as a new ball is put in play. Tom Gorman, home plate umpire, former Major League pitcher. And here's the 1-1 pitch to Klein. He checks in time. 2 balls and 1 strike. Johnny Neal at third base, playing in very shallow against a possible bunt. The outfield about straight away. Al Moran at shortstop, pulled over near the bag. And Jay now goes into the windup, and here's the 2-1 pitch. High again. It's ball 3. 3 balls and 1 strike. Hook has given up only 1 base hit. He has walked 1 so far. He's 3-1 to Ty Klein. 1 man out here in the top of the 3rd inning. Mets lead 3-1. And the pitch back is a strike call. A full count now to Ty Klein as Jay Hook works in the mound. In the batter's box, and here's the 3-2 pitch. Fastball hit the center field, a base hit. Coming on is Jimmick when he takes it on the first hop. And the Milwaukee Braves now have a runner at first base, and the second baseman Frank Bowling coming to bat. Bowling currently on a 9-game batting streak. He has been red hot against the Mets. He has picked up 9 hits and 19 trips to the plate. Shaky no on the first sign from 2-2 Coleman. He struck Bowling out in the first inning. Got him on a curveball swinging. Now the right-hander to the right-hand batter, and there's a foul ball off to the right side. Ball going out of play for strike 1. Braves have yet to win a ball game on the road. They have won 7, all at home. A current 7-game winning streak going when they came in against the Mets. There's a throw to first base. Krahenpool late with the tag. Mets have won the first 2 games of this 4-game series. The runner goes, but the ball is fouled away out of play. So in the hit and run play, Klein has to return back to first base. And the count moves to no balls and 2 strikes. Batter is Hank Aaron. He has scored the only run of the game for the Braves against Jay Hook. That came in a long home run. His 3rd of the year. All 3 of his home runs against the Mets. Now time called as Frank Bowling steps out of the batter's box. And the ball boy is now out at home plate, giving some more baseballs to Tom Gorman. He almost got caught in the play. There's a throw to first base. Tag is late. Ty Klein there, back safely. Now the 2-strike pitch. It's a curveball outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes. First doubleheader of the year if you're still around the area. Come on in. Still a lot of baseball to be played here in the Polo Grounds. Here's the pitch to the plate. A ground ball hit back to Hook. A good play. Goes to the second baseman covering at second. To first base in time. A 1-4-3 double play. A good play by Jay Hook. The first double play of the ball game, and it retires the side. In the inning for the Braves, no runs on 1 hit. There were no errors, and there was no one left on base. And the score at the end of 2.5 innings of play, the Mets 3, the Braves 1. Now, bottom half of the 3rd inning, Frank Thomas stepping in. Frank started the 3-run rally off for the Mets in the 2nd inning when they took the lead 3-1. And the first pitch to Frank Thomas by Denny LeMaster is a fastball low for ball 1. Frank had a broken bat base hit to left field to start off the rally. He scored the first run of the game for the Mets. hit by Frank, his 4th of the year. Here's the pitch back to the right-hand batter. It's low again, ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Tony Cloninger was the starting pitcher for the Braves. He officially went 1 2/3 innings. He was charged with the 3 runs scored by the Mets. He gave up 3 hits. He walked 3. He worked the first inning 1, 2, 3, and then pitched to 8 men in the second inning. There's a foul ball by Frank Thomas. Out of play. And the count moves to 2 balls and 1 strike. Frank looking for his first 1963 home run. He had 34 last year to lead all New York players. After Thomas, it will be rookie Ed Cranebull, then Choo-Choo Coleman against the left-hander. And LeMaster now comes back to the plate. And there's a ground ball hit down to Matthews. A tough hop. He can't handle it. Thomas is on at first base. As he did in the second inning, Frank Thomas leads off by getting on. It's charged in there to Eddie Matthews. That was a real tough hop. Matthews got the hard ground ball on the half hop. He flinched as it came off the dirt. Couldn't get a hold of the handle and missed it. So the Mets now have Ed Cranebull coming up. Thomas at first base, and the first pitch to Cranebull is swung on a miss for strike 1. Slashed a base hit between short and third his first time up off Tony Cloninger. Now batting against the left-hand pitcher. He bats from the left-hand side. Here's the 1-strike pitch. Upon attempt, a good one. Down to Eddie Matthews. He has to go to first. The throw is just in time. And moving down to second base on the sacrifice bunt is Frank Thomas. So Eddie Cranebull, a perfect sacrifice bunt. Score 3-1 in favor of the Mets. They have another runner at second base now, and the batter is Choo-Choo Coleman. Choo-Choo batting from the left-hand side, grounded out to first base his first time up. The on-deck batter, Johnny Neal. Johnny with 2 runs batted in. Bottom half of the third inning, 1 man out as LeMaster throws a curveball that breaks over for strike 1. Wind blowing in strongly from right field. LeMaster set and back to the plate. Curveball pulled foul, strike 2. LeMaster, after pitching at Louisville and compiling a 10-4 record last year, was called up to the Milwuakee Braves, where he had a 3-4 record with a 3.00 earned run average. His first major league win was against the Phillies. Now the 2-strike pitch fouled away. LeMaster, 1959, while pitching for Jacksonville in the South Atlantic League, struck out 19 making batters, 11 of them in a row. That's quite a job to strike out 19, but 11 consecutively is really amazing. He's from Camarillo, California, just about 60, 70 miles from Los Angeles. Now the 2-strike pitch to Choo-Choo Coleman just outside. So the count now 1 ball and 2 strikes. Frank Thomas at second base. Mets with a 3-1 lead, bottom half of the third inning. LeMaster back on top and back to the plate. Curveball bouncing in the dirt. Dug out by Joe Torre. And that moves the count to 2 balls and 2 strikes. Coleman with 4 hits and 24 times to the plate. He had a big day against the Milwaukee Braves on Friday. 3 for 3 day, and he reached first base the 4th time when he was hit by a pitch ball. Curve is inside and high. 3 balls and 2 strikes. to Choo-Choo Coleman, the on-deck batter Johnny Neal, Frank Thomas at second base. LeMaster shaking no on the first sign by Joe Torre. Now gets set. And here's the 3-2 pitch. Popped up in the air to the third base side. LeMaster is there. He calls and he makes the catch. So for the second time, LeMaster has made a put-out on a pop-up by the pitcher's mound. The last time, Eddie Matthews and he collided. 2 men out now, and Johnny Neal comes up. And while we wait for Johnny to bat, we'll pause for station identification.
If you are tuned to WGY, 10 on your radio dial Schenectady, the General Electric station.
Bob Kinder along with Bob Murphy and Lindsey Nelson from the Polo Grounds. And the first pitch to Johnny Neal is low in the dirt, dug out by Joe Torre for ball 1. Mets lead 3-1. Bottom half of the third inning, 2 men out. Frank Thomas at second base. A 1-0 count to Johnny Neal. LeMaster into the stretch and back to the plate. There's a fly ball hits to right center field. Moving back, Hank Aaron. He has a lot of room. Wind holding the ball up, and he makes the catch. And that retires the side. In the inning, no runs, no hits. 1 error on Eddie Matthews. 1 man left on, and the score at the end of 3 innings of play. The Mets 3, the Braves 1. The 29th and 30th, the first 2 night games of the year. Here's the first pitch to Hank Aaron as we move to the top of the 4th inning. It's up too high for ball 1. Aaron with the only run scored for the Milwaukee Braves. A long home run to left field. And the pitch back to the plate is a change of pace. Hit the center field. Hickman has running room as he moves to his left, and he makes the play. 3-1 in favor of the Mets. 1 out here in the top of the 4th now, and Eddie Matthews comes up. Matthews with a current 9-game hitting streak going. He was struck out on a fastball in a 3-2 count his first time up. He's batting .375. Hank Aaron, including his last at-bat, is batting .341. Matthews tries to check, but the ball comes off of the bat for a foul ball, strike 1. There's a change of pace, a big swing and a miss, strike 2. Jay Hook working to Eddie Matthews. So far, Jay has given up 2 base hits in the ball game. He has struck out 3. He struck out the side in the first inning, and he has walked 1. Now the right-hander into the windup, and the 2-strike pitch. Just outside, ball 1. Jay Hook looking for his first win of the 1963 season. He is 0-2. Now Hook back to Matthews. A curveball hit the right field. A base hit. Coming over is Snyder. He cuts it off, throws on in, and Matthews holds at first base with a base hit. His first in the game. He now has hit in 10 consecutive ball games this year. And the Milwaukee Braves have the tying run at the plate. It's Norm Larker coming into bat. Larker walked his first time up. He has 5 hits and 19 times up this year. And the left-hand batter looks at a pitch too low for ball 1. It's all even now, 3 apiece. The Mets lead in runs by 2. To first base, but Matthews with a short lead back ahead of the tag. Eddie Kranepool playing first base. Ron Hunt in second. Al Moran at short, and Johnny Neal at third. There's a quick throw again to first, but again Matthews with a short lead gets back easily. Outfield, Frank Thomas, Jim Hickman, and Duke Snyder. Left to right. The catcher is Choo-Choo Coleman. The first game of 2. The pitch to the plate outside for ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Norm Larker. In the second game today, it's Lou Burdett scheduled for the Milwaukee Braves. He has won 2 and lost none so far this year. And going for the Mets, Galen Siskel. He pitched a fine game against Milwaukee in Milwaukee. He is 0-1. Again to first base, but Matthews back easily. Tomorrow night's game will see Don Rowe on the mound as the starting pitcher for the first time for the Mets. That'll be against Philadelphia. Here's the pitch back to the plate. A high strike called by Tom Gorman. That was up in the new strike zone. Norm Rocker talking to Gorman now. And the call by Tom Gorman, drawing quite a bit of conversation from the Milwaukee bench. 2 balls and 1 strike. Shea now into the stretch position and back to the plate. It's a slider, all strike 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes now. Eddie Matthews with a short lead at first base on all the previous pitches. Now leading off again. Still short, about 3 steps away. And Larker looks at a fastball that's just low. That moves the count to 3 balls and 2 strikes. A full count now. The on-deck batter is Lee May, a left-hand batter. Now Matthews edging off. 1 man out. And he draws the throw again to first base. But again, he's back ahead of the tag. In fact, no tag by Eddie Kranepool. Again, 3-2. Again, to first base by Jay Hook. Matthews back. Jay Hook trying to keep Matthews close in case he might be running on the 3-2 count. Larker does not strike out much, so it's very good that he might be going here. The runner goes. There's a bouncy ball to first. Kranepool gets it. Throws to second. A good throw. Back to first. And Jay Hook, who was covering, never got the ball as Kranepool took it in front of him. So Matthews is out at second base on the 4th play. A real good throw by Eddie Kranepool to pick him up. He was running on the 3-2 count. But as the throw came back from Al Moran, it was a good throw. Kranepool, who was in front of the bag, cut the ball off, and Jay Hook, who was on the bag with a chance to complete the double play, never got the ball. Kranepool evidently did not know that Jay was there covering from the pitcher's position. 2 men out now, exchanging at first base. Norm Walker for Eddie Matthews, and the batter is Lee May. The first pitch to May, bounced to first. Kranepool takes it, and he steps in the bag to retire the side. For the Milwaukee Braves. No runs on 1 hit, no errors, 1 man left, and the score at the end of 3.5 innings of play. The Mets 3, the Braves 1. It's the bottom half of the 4th inning. Mets coming up. They lead in the ball game 3-1. And against Milwaukee Brave pitcher Denny LeMaster, it will be Al Moran, Jay Hook, and Jim Hickman. And the first pitch by the left-hand pitcher is a fastball up around the letters. A big swing and a miss by Al Moran for strike 1. Al walked his first time up, so he has yet to be officially credited with an at-bat in this ball game. He has 2 hits and 17 times up. The walk coming off starting pitcher Tony Cloninger. He's the pitcher of record in this ball game, having given up all 3 runs scored by the Mets. There's a foul ball out of play, strike 2. Denny LeMaster came in the ball game with 2 men out in the second inning, and the bases loaded. He got Duke Snyder in 1 pitch, and in the 3rd inning he worked to 4 men, retiring 3 of the 4, the other reaching on an error. Here's the 2-strike pitch, a curveball, a swing and a miss for strike 3. That's the first strikeout in the ball game for the Milwaukee Braves. And with 1 out now, Jay Hook comes to bat. walked his first time up. He has one hit and 3 times up this year. He bats from the left-hand side. There's a bunt attempt out towards third base. Dug out by LeMaster. He falls down as he throws, but he got his man. LeMaster coming off the mound had to make the play. Eddie Matthews could not have made it in time. He came up with the ball as he went to throw. He slipped on the grass area, but still got the throw off, not with too much on it, but he got there in time for out number 2. Score 3-1 in favor of the Mets with Jim Hickman coming to bat. Jim had a long sacrifice fly to left field in the second inning to drive in the third Met run. He is 0 for 1 in the ball game. Say there's no time like the present, and what better way to use it than to pour yourself a tall, cold glass of Rheingold Extra Dry. Here's the first pitch to Jim Hickman. It's a strike call. Jim batting from the right-hand side. Pitch back, a change of pace high. 1 ball and 1 strike. Only 6 hits in the ball game between both clubs. Each club with 3. The Mets have 3 runs. The Braves 1. Bottom half of the 4th inning with 2 men out. Mets scored 3 runs in the second inning on 3 base hits. And 3 walks sandwiched in between. Master with a sign and back to Jim Hickman. Curveball breaking over for strike 2. Hickman looking. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Now the windup and the next pitch to Jim. Fastball just missing outside. 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2-2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 men out. Now LeMaster back to work. And he bounces a curveball right on the plate. It's ball 3. A full count now to Jim. Hickman with 8 hits and 26 trips to the plate this year. And 2 strikes. The Master into the windup. And the fastball's fouled away. And the count will stay at 3-2. Hickman was very instrumental in the first Met victory this year against the Milwaukee Braves. It was his double that set up the run at third base, and of course he was the go-ahead run or the winning run at second. He scored later when Ron Hunt drove him in. That was a 9th inning win for the Mets. Now again the 3-2 pitch. Struck him out. A hard swing and a miss. That retires the side. 1-2-3. 2 strikeouts for Denny LeMaster, and the score at the end of 4. The Mets 3, the Milwaukee Braves 1. Well, the action right here at the Polo Grounds is red hot. Let's take a look at the action around the National and the American League. Here's Bob Murphy once again. Right here we go along to the 5th inning with Torrey hitting the first pitch on a line to Greenpool. 1 away. Joe Torrey lines out to Ed Cranepool. 1 away and nobody on. Top half of the 5th inning. Now the hitter is Roy McMillan. New York 3 runs, 3 hits, and no errors. Milwaukee 1 run, 3 hits, and 1 error. The Mets punched their hits to get 3 runs and chased the starting pitcher Tony Cloninger. Now hook out of his windup. Here's the pitch. Outside and low. 1 ball and no strikes on Roy McMillan. Roy hit a fly ball deep to center field his first time up.
starting to break through the overcast once again. The lights are still on at the moment. If you're in the neighborhood, we hope you're planning to join us. We've got a lot of baseball remaining right here in the Polo Grounds today. Outside and low. Ball 2-0 now on Roy McMillan. Now Hook looks in to Choo-Choo to get his sign. Pitches 2-0. Ball 3, missed low and outside, and he goes behind on McMillan, 3-0. Denny LeMaster will be up next, and then Ty Klein, the leadoff batter and center fielder. That's over. Strike one call. Now they grab the telephone and communicate with the bullpen, indicating that Bregan might want to go to a hitter for LeMaster if McMillan gets on. Ron Shea, a right-hander, is up throwing again. 3-1 delivery. Curve is low, ball 4, and now let's watch and see if the Braves make a move. Mac Jones is over around the bat rack and is going to come on to hit for Denny LeMaster. The walk by Jay Hook, his second. He walked Norm Larker in the second inning. So Denny LeMaster, who was extremely effective in relief, is leaving the game now in favor of the pinch hitter. Mac Jones will bat for Denny LeMaster. Good power to the opposite field is on now to hit for Denny LeMaster. One away and one on. We're in the top half of the fifth inning. Here's the pitch by Hook. Curve is foul back toward the crowd, and it's out of play. Mac Jones with 4 hits in 26 times at bat so far. He has started in about half the games played to date by the Braves. Mac Jones, Lee May, and Leonard Gabrielson battling for the spots in the outfield of the Milwaukee Braves. Ball got loose out of the bullpen, so we have play held up for a moment while Jim Hickman fires it back to them. Now here's Hook off the stretch, and he decides to step off. Ron Shea will be coming on in relief. Outside and low, 1 ball, 1 strike. Shea worked 1 inning in the game yesterday and pitched it very effectively. He retired the side in order in the 8th inning and struck out Norm Sherry and Al Moran. And that's 3 and the Braves 1. Braves trying to get it going here in the 5th inning. Now the pitch. Fouled again. That's whacked up toward the roof. It'll be out of play. 1 ball and 2 strikes on Jones. The center fielder, Ty Klein, is on deck, and then Frank Bowling. Braves scored their run on a home run in the 1st inning with 2 outs and nobody on by Henry Aaron. Jay Hook is in pitching position. Here's the pitch on the way. Ground ball hit towards second base. Ron Hunt chuckles the ball. Throws to second. He's out. Forced play at second base. They get Roy McMillan. Ron lost his chance for a double play when he juggled it. And just got the ball over to Al Moran in time to get McMillan. Now there are 2 away, and that brings up Ty Klein. Left-hand batter singles sharply to center field in the 3rd inning. He has 1 hit and 2 times up. First game of a doubleheader. In the 2nd game, Lou Burdett against Galen Cisco. Now the pitch on the way, and he pops the ball up in foul ground outside 3rd. Neal scooting over toward the warning track. Charlie's under it. He has it. The side is out. No runs, no hits, no errors, left on. So we've come halfway at the end of 4.5 innings to score. The New York Mets 3 and the Milwaukee Braves 1. Shea is the new pitcher in the game now for the Milwaukee Braves. His second appearance of the season, he relieved, worked 1 inning, the 8th inning in yesterday's game, won by the New York Mets 3-1. Ron Shea at Toronto last year won 9 and lost 4. With the Milwaukee Braves, he started the season. They gave him 5 straight starts. He won 3 of the 5 starts, complete ball games, did not figure in the other 2. He wound up with the Braves 3-2. Shea is a 27-year-old right-hander from Verdun, Quebec. Started out with the Milwaukee Brave organization in 1955. He looked good in his relief assignment yesterday. Denny LeMaster in 2 1/3 allowed no runs, no hits, walked none, and struck out 2. Ron Hunt is the leadoff batter in the home 5th inning against right-hander Ron Shea. Here's the pitch. A breaking ball under the knees, 1 ball and no strike. Shea is now the 3rd hurler used in the game by Bobby Bregan. Denny LeMaster pitched it very well, but left the game for a pinch batter with the Braves trailing by 2. Way inside, Ron had to jump back. 2 balls and no strikes. Ron 0 for 1 was thrown out by Roy McMillan in the 1st inning. He drew a walk in the 2nd. The Mets scored 3 runs on 3 hits in the 2nd inning in chasing Tony Cloninger. Charlie Neal singled to right, driving 2 runs in, and Jim Hickman dropped in a run. Ball strike in the outside corner, 2-1. Hickman drove a run in. He was up with the bases loaded. He made a strong bid for a grand slam. Hit a fly ball deep to left that Lee May caught back on the warning pad. Next pitcher on the way, fastball over a call strike, 2-2 now on Hunt. Tomorrow night, the New York Mets will be in Philadelphia playing the Phillies for the first time this year. Don Rowe will make his first start, and his opponent will be right-hander Paul Brown. He holds up on the swing, and it breaks outside and low, a full count, 3-2. And pitched by Shea way outside, all the way to the backstop. It's ball 4. Hunt is running at full speed. He's around first, but he'll try to go no further. So it's merely a walk to Ron Hunt, leading off in the last of the 5th inning. But that 3-2 pitch was really a wild one. That brings up Duke Snyder. This is Charles Shipman Payson, the owner of the New York Mets, is here watching today's ball game. This has been quite a weekend for her. The Mets winning the first 2 games of this series, and her horse, No Robbery, winning the big race in Wood yesterday at Aqueduct. Now Snyder hitting. Duke is flied to right and popped up. Strike on the outside corner of the knee. Ron Hunt on first base. A throw to first by Ron Shea, and Ron hurries back. Snyder hitting with Thomas on deck. Here's the pitch on the way. A drive hit hard towards right center field, but Aaron is there, makes the catch. Ron Hunt hurries to get back to first base. Snyder hit that one right on the button, but it's stayed up for Henry Aaron, who cut over to grab it in right center. New York 3, Milwaukee 1. Thomas hitting now against Ron Shea. Snyder ripped the ball, but Aaron was able to cut over into right center to take it. Throw to first, and Ron gets back. Shea working in relief. Delivers to the plate, bounced foul off the end of the bat. No play, and the count strike one on Frank Thomas. Frank has been up twice and on base twice. He hit a line drive single to get the Mets going in the second inning and reached safely on an error charge to Eddie Matthews in the third inning. After Thomas singled in the second, Eddie Kranepool slashed a ground single to left field. The runners moved up as Choo-Choo Coleman grounded out. Neal drove two in and Hickman drove one in. A throw to first, no play. Eddie Kranepool is waiting on deck. Down comes the pitch, a swing and a miss on a real good breaking ball thrown by Ron Shea. Now the count is 2 strikes. The game yesterday, Al Jackson bested Warren Spahn in a real good mound duel. Mets winning 3-1. Two-strike pitch. There go. The ball is popped up out behind second. It may drop. Out goes to shortstop McMillan. It's dropped. Hunter's around second on his way to third, and he'll reach third base. A Texas League base hit into shallow left center field for Frank Thomas. Ball was just beyond the reach of McMillan. He ran into the outfield with his back to the plate, tried to catch it over his shoulder, and it was just beyond his reach. Now the Mets have runners on first and third, one out, and the hitter coming on is Eddie Kranepool. So the breaks that were missing over the first 5 or 6 ball games for the Mets now seem to be coming their way a little bit. Eddie Kranepool singled to left in the second and laid down a real good sacrifice bunt in the third. Outside, ball 1. Taylor and McClish have been the starters. Eddie Kranepool waits. Here's the pitch. And he pops it up out behind second base. Roy McMillan calling for it on the skin of the infield path. He has it 2 men down. Kranepool retired on the pop fly on the left side of the infield. That brings up Choo-Choo Coleman. Choo-Choo hitless and 2 times up. He was 3 for 3 in the victory yesterday. Or day before yesterday, I should say. Yesterday, Norm Sherry was behind the plate, and Norm hit a home run to figure very prominently in the game. Here's the pitch to Choo-Choo. He lays off, and it's taken ball 1. Now to Choo-Choo, a low curve that he goes after. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now for Shea off the stretch. The 1-1 pitch. Foul pop-up. Hit toward the backstop. It'll be out of play. For short relief duty, they have Claude Raymond and Frank Funk. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. He got him with a curveball to retire the side. In the last half of the 5th inning, no runs, 1 hit. No errors, and 2 left on. 5 innings complete. The score in the Polo Grounds, opening game of 2. The New York Mets 3 and the Milwaukee Braves 1. 6th inning, and the Milwaukee Braves have the slick fielding second baseman Frank Bowling coming out to face Jay Hook. It'll be 2, 3, and 4 in the Milwaukee batting order. Batting against Jay Hook in the top half of the 6th inning. Tight game. Mets leading 3-1. Braves got a run on Aaron's homer in the 1st inning. Now Jay out of his windup. The pitch over at the knees for a call strike. The only run scored in yesterday's game by Milwaukee came on a home run by Tommy Aaron. Line drive to left center field. This will be a base hit. Jim Hickman grabs it on the hop. And Bowling leads off the 6th inning with a single. Now Jay Hook has his work cut out for him here in the 6th inning with Bowling leading off with a single. Hank Aaron coming on to hit with Eddie Matthews on deck, and then Joe Torre. Let's have the infield hoping for a shot at two. Ron Hunt shades towards second against Aaron. Outside and low, it's ball one. Eddie Cranepool holding against Frank Boulding at first base. The outfield deep. Thomas back on the warning path in left center against Aaron. Now Aaron swishing the bat around, waiting on Hook. Shea into the set position. Delivers. Breaking ball over, a call strike. He tried to hold up on the swing, but it gone through. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now Shea looking in for his sign from Choo-Choo Coleman. Bowling edges away, draws a throw, and turns and goes back. Last year, the Mets played more doubleheaders than any other major league team. They played 28 doubleheaders. Fastball over, a strike to Aaron. 1 ball and 2 strikes. That's a month of doubleheaders. One and 2, the count on Hank Aaron. Aaron batting .341. He's hit 3 home runs against the Mets this year, hit 9 last year. Here's the 1-2 pitch. In the dirt, blocked by Choo-Choo, no advance. Jay Hook trying to get Aaron to go for a low breaking ball in the dirt, and the count is even now, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Choo-Choo does quite a job in scooping up and blocking those throws in the dirt. Pitcher is trying to get a double play. He tries to get that hitter to go after that breaking ball to make him hit it on the ground. Now it's 2-2 on Hank Aaron. Down comes the pitch. Swinging a miss, he struck him out. He got him with a high curveball. One away, Aaron struck out. That brings up Eddie Matthews. Here's the 1-2 pitch. In the dirt, blocked by Choo-Choo, no advance. Jay Hook trying to get Aaron to go for a low breaking ball in the dirt, and the count is even now, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Choo-Choo does quite a job in scooping up and blocking those throws in the dirt. The pitcher is trying to get a double play. He tries to get that hitter to go after that breaking ball to make him hit it on the ground. Now it's 2-2 on Hank Aaron. Down comes the pitch. Swinging a miss, he struck him out. He got him with a high curveball. One away, Aaron struck out. That brings up Eddie Matthews. Eddie has taken a called third strike and singled to right field. Matthews singled to right. He extended his consecutive game batting streak to 10 games. Outside and high, it's ball 1. Frank Boulding did the same thing when he singled leading off here in the 6th inning. Boulding and Matthews each have hit safely in the last 10 games played by the Milwaukee Braves. Left-hand batter Eddie Matthews facing Jay Hook. Now the stretch by Jay. Here's his pitch. Off the outside corner, ball 2-0. Matthews representing the tying run at the plate for Milwaukee here in the top of the 6th inning. The Mets lead 3-1. Eddie Cranepool about 2 steps behind the bag at first, with Matthews, the left-hand hitter, batting. Now Hook in the set position, decides to step off. Jay trying to work very cautiously to the always dangerous Eddie Matthews. The slugger from Texarkana, has hit 400 home runs. Pitching 2-0. In there for a call, strike one, 2-1. In center field, Hickman is playing Matthews deep, and he has his swung over toward right center. Snyder deep at right, and Thomas deep in left center against Matthews. Now the pitch. Ground ball past the mound. Hunt racing for it. Dives, can't get it. A base hit to center. Around second on his way to third is Frank Bowling. A base hit to center for Eddie Matthews. Ron Hunt really made a try for that one. Look at his uniform. He's completely covered with dirt. He left his feet and made a head-first slide, hoping he could knock that ball down to keep it from going through the infield. Now Matthews has 2 for 3. Braves have the tying runs on base at the top of the 6th inning, and Norm Larker comes on to hit. Norm Larker, left-hand batter, has drawn a walk and reached safely on a fielder's choice. Matthews with 2 for 3 has hiked his average to .405. Foul ball hit down the left field line. Neal going at full speed, going, can't get to it. Just beyond his reach, bouncing right at the field box railing. Now Ken Mackenzie will start to throw easily in the bullpen for the New York Mets. In Philadelphia, the Cardinals are out in the 10th without scoring. Phillies batting now in the last of the 10th inning with a chance to win it. A game tied up 3-3. The Reds are really slugging in Pittsburgh today. They now lead the Pirates 8-1 at the end of 4 innings. Cubs lead the Giants 1-0 at the end of 2. Ellsworth against Fisher. Barker stepping back into the batter's box now. Runners on first and third, only 1 out. Barker is a tough man to fan. He's the type of hitter that usually gets a piece of the ball. Now Hook makes the stop. Here's his pitch. Down around the knees, inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. In Washington, the Senators got a run, tied the Yankees 5-5 at the end of 5. Tigers 5, Red Sox nothing after 5.5 at Fenway Park in Boston. And the Orioles lead Cleveland 6-0 at the end of 5 innings. Minnesota Twins lead the White Sox 5-0 at the end of 3.5. Next pitch by Jay Hook. Bounced foul, hit him on the foot, no play. Grabbed by Choo-Choo right in front of the plate. The Kansas City, the Angels of Bill Rigney and the Kansas City A's of Ed Lopat are tied up 1-1 at the end of 2. Don Lee against Ted Boatfield. Lee pitched the shutout his last time out. Right here, the sky has become very gray and it's quite dark. We're playing under the lights. This is now an official ball game. We're in the top of the 6th inning. Norm Larker, the hitter, with a count of 1-2. Runners on first and third and 1 out. Now Hook in pitching position. Down comes the arm. Curve is a line drive to short right field. It'll be a base hit. Coming in to score is Frank Bowling. Runners at first and second. It's now 3-2. Norm Larker singles to right with a soft line drive. It's 3-2, and coming on to hit is Lee May. Braves now have 1 run on 3 hits off Jay here in the 6th inning. Another left-hand batter. This time it is Lee May. Topped to short and grounded out to Eddie Cranepool. He's 0 for 2. Matthews, the lead runner, is on second. Norm Larker is on first. The pitch by Hook. Breaking ball, just missing the strike zone. 1 ball and no strike. for his sign, and now Norm Larker and Dixie Walker yelling something to Bobby Bergen in the Milwaukee dugout. I think they wanted the ball inspector. So now Tom Gorman, umpiring the plate, looks it over, says it's all right, and fires it right back to Jay Hook. It's all over in Philadelphia. The Phillies got a run in the last of the 10th inning to win the first game of the doubleheader from the St. Louis Cardinals, 4-3. Dallas Green, the winner in relief, and Ed Bauda was the loser. A pop fly hit out to short center field. Out goes Al Moran. Infield fly ruling invoked. The catch is made. Now there are two away. May retired on the pop-up taken by Moran. Here's the line score for the first game in Philadelphia. Phillies 4 runs, 9 hits, no errors. Cardinals 3, 11, and 2. McClish, Clipstein in the 8th. Dallas Green in the 10th. Green the winner. Ron Taylor, Bauda in the 7th. Bauda the losing pitcher. Home runs by Gene Oliver, Don Demeter, and Kurt Flood. Right now, the batter is Joe Torre with runners on first and second, 2 down. Mets 3 and the Braves 2, top half of the 6th inning. Now, Jay has his sign from Choo-Choo. The pitch to Torre. Line drive hit hard. Base hit going to left field. Rounding third and heading in is Eddie Matthews. The play is coming to third. Neal cuts it off, throws to Moran. Safe. Safe on a close play at third. And you're going to have a real rhubarb here. Moran started for the dugout. He can't believe that he was called safe. Now Moran turns back and he's arguing with Al Foreman. It looked like they had him nailed by a foot or two. And that the only possibility he could have been saved was if he had been knocked and tagged. Casey now is on the scene. The game is tied up 3-3. Matthews has come in to score. Thomas's throw coming in from the outfield was cut off beautifully by Charlie Neal. Neal whipped the ball to Moran, who was alertly covering at third. Larker sliding in at third. Looked to be out by a couple of feet. Moran raced for the dugout. He thought the side had been retired. Then realized that the decision had gone against the Mets, and the argument is really going. Casey Stengel arguing with Al Foreman, and now the argument is breaking up. It'll be a single to left for Joe Torre, an RBI. He took second on the throw. So it's a tie ball game, 3-3, with runners on second and third. Big crowd here in the Polo Grounds voicing their disapproval of the call. The game is tied now, 3-3. 2 runs are in. Braves have 2 runs and 4 hits off Jay Hook here on the top of the 6th inning. The batter now is Roy McMillan with runners on second and third. Well, you can never tell from the broadcasting booth. Al Foreman was right on top of the play to call it. From here, it looked like he was out by a couple of feet and that perhaps the tag was missed. McMillan has flied to center and drawn a walk. Roy is 0 for 1. Very tense spot right here for Jay Hook. Braves have come from behind, tied the game. It's 3-3. Now Jay into his windup. Here's the pitch to McMillan. In the dirt, a good block by Choo-Choo Coleman. 1 ball and no strikes. Have Hank Fisher warming up with the pitcher scheduled up next. Ken Mackenzie has been warming up in the bullpen for the New York Mets. Both Moran and Charlie Neal really did a slick fielding job on that cutoff on the throw from Thomas. Neal had to make a jumping catch to cut it off. Now Hook winds. Down comes the pitch. Too high. Ball 2. Choo-Choo wanted to try a pickoff play at third, but had trouble getting around Roy McMillan to throw. And now the count is 2 balls and no strikes. Shea is the scheduled hitter next. Now Jay Hook trying to work out of a jam. He's behind on the hitter, 2-0. Larker is on third and Torrey on second, 2 men down. 2 runs in on 4 hits. Braves have out hit them at 7-4. The game is tied up 3-3. Now Hook winding. Pitch on the way. Curve outside and low. It's ball 3. Braves have Shea out in the on-deck circle. They also have Fisher, a right-hander, cranking in the bullpen, so Bobby Bregan might well go to his bench in the event of a walk to Roy McMillan. Delivery. Way outside, a wild pitch that'll score a run. Larker comes down the line. He's in to score, and digging for the plate is Torrey. The play at the plate, he's in to score. As the throw goes under, Jay Hook it out towards shortstop, and winding up on second base is Roy McMillan. 2 runs come in on the wild pitch. Wild pitch all the way. No error on the plate. 2 runs come in. Jay may have been hurt as Joe Torrey slid into him as he tried to cover home plate. And trainer Gus Mach has come out now to take a look at it, and Hook is hobbling around. 5-3, the Braves have gone in front. The count was 3-0 on the hitter. The pitcher was due up next, and Hook uncorked a wild pitch. So wild it went all the way to the backstop, and Choo-Choo Coleman raced back to get it. Larker scored easily to make it 4-3. Torrey rounded third. He kept coming. Coleman fired to Hook, who was covering at the plate. And they now are changing the scoring and charging an error on Choo-Choo Coleman on his low throw to Jay Hook. As Jay was covering the plate, the throw from Coleman was a low throw. The throw went under Jay and rolled out towards shortstop. And Torrey really bowled into Jay Hook. He had to get over that plate somehow. So it has scored a wild pitch and an error charge to Coleman. And McMillan, who was walked on the ball for a wild pitch, winds up on second base. Tough break for the Mets because the pitcher was due up next for the Milwaukee Braves. And now Ron Shea will come on to hit.
Milwaukee pitcher number 38, Ron Shea. Number 38.
Braves lead at 5-3. Outside and low to Ron Shea, ball 1. And we have a few raindrops falling. So the Mets right now would be hoping that if it's ever going to be a hard rain, it'd be right at this moment. It's raining. We're in the top of the 6th inning. Braves have 4 runs in. Here's the pitch. Bounce foul. 1 ball and 1 strike. Now the rain is coming down pretty hard. Might be just a light rain shower. We'll have to wait and see. The batter is Ron Shea. The count 1 ball and 1 strike. Pitch thrown by Hook is a breaking ball, swung and missed, 1-2. Strikes on Shea. Shea checks the runner, then delivers. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. But the Braves have a big inning in the 6th. They sent 8 men to the plate, scored 4 runs. There were 4 hits, 1 error, and 1 left on. A very close play at third base that went against the New York Mets turned out to cost them 2 runs. So at the end of 5 1/2 innings, the score now, it's the Milwaukee Braves 5 and the New York Mets 3. Now Charlie Neal is up in the last of the 6th inning, and the pitch is a strike at the knee. Nobody on, nobody out. Bottom half of the 6th inning, a 4-run 6th inning for Milwaukee. Outside and high to Charlie Neal. 1 ball, 1 strike. Now, and the pitch to Charlie, a fly ball hit rather deep to left center field. Racing back is Lee May. He's getting there, and he makes the catch in deep left center. Charlie is tying into that ball today. He's been gripped to the batting slump, but all 3 times up today, Neal has hit the ball hard. Nobody on. Al Moran batting. Braves lead 5-3. We're in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Pitch by for Shea is outside and low. 1 ball and no strike. A wild pitch on 3-0 by Jay Hook. Unable the last 2 runs to cross over the plate. Big crowd riding behind the Mets down. The pitch to Moran is a strike. 1-1. Starting pitcher Tony Cloninger is now off the hook. And the pitcher of record for the Milwaukee Braves is their 3rd pitcher in the game, Ron Shea. Light rain falling. We're in the bottom half of the 6th inning. Swing and a miss. 1-2 now to Al Moran. Moran has drawn a walk and been struck out. He is 0 for 1. Is coming out on deck, and he'll be batting for Jay Hook. Outside, and the count even now, 2-2. Ken Mackenzie working in the bullpen. He'll be coming in to take over the pitching. And the ball is a foul pop-up back toward the crowd. Joe Torre looking for a play, but it's out of his reach. Which came down fairly hard moments ago, now has slackened off. Pitching 2-2. Ground ball tapped down to third. Comes up on a big hop for Eddie Matthews. And the peg across to Norm Larker retires Al Moran. Now Morris Throneberry will bat for Jay Hook. And before Marv steps in, let's pause for station identification.
This is the General Electric Station, Schenectady, WGY 810 on your radio dial.
Bob Murphy with Lindsey Nelson and Ralph Kinder from the Polo Grounds. With 2 outs and nobody on in the bottom half of the 6th inning, Marv Throneberry is hitting now for Jay Hook. On the mound for the Braves, Ron Shea. Fastball for a strike on the inside corner. Now for Shea with an unorthodox windup, a breaking ball, swung and missed, strike 2. Game being played under the lights, the overcast so heavy right now and so dark that the chickens might go to roost. Now Throneberry waiting on the 2-strike pitch. A high fly ball hit the left over toward the line. Running hard is Lee May, and he takes it over near the line to retire the side. So Shea retires the Mets in order in the bottom half of the 6th inning. No runs, no hits, no errors, none left on. Now 6 innings complete. The score in the opening game of the doubleheader: the Milwaukee Braves 5 and the New York Mets 3. Nelson. job, and Ken Mackenzie is making the trek in now from the bullpen in relief of Shea Hook, who was removed for the pinch hitter. Ken Mackenzie has a record of 1 victory and no losses, as he was credited with the victory in the opening game of this series when the Mets won it in the bottom half of the 9th inning. The San Francisco Giants, the defending National League champions, will be coming in here on the night of May 3rd, which is a Friday night. That will be Willie Mays' night. Sid Shore is chairman of the committee making arrangements, and others on that committee are Kyle Rote, Frank Gifford, and Jack Lescoulis. So Willie Mays' night will be May 3rd here at the Polo Grounds. The Giants will be in the following day, May 4th, for an afternoon ladies' day at Singleton, and then on Sunday, May 5th, a doubleheader, the Giants and the Mets at the Polo Grounds. Orlando Cepeda, Willie McCovey, Philippe Ballou, Harvey Keene, Jim Davenport, Jack Sanford, manager Alvin Dark, Coach Whitey Lockman, Coach Wes Westrom, Coach Larry Johnson and company will be here on May 3rd at night, May 4th in the afternoon, a doubleheader on Sunday, May 5th. Through 6 innings of play here at the Polo Grounds, it's the Milwaukee Braves 5 runs on 7 hits and 1 error. The New York Mets 3 runs on 4 hits and 1 error. Ken Mackenzie completed his warm-up tosses. He has pitched a total of 2 innings thus far this season, in which he has given up no runs on 1 hit. And he'll be facing left-handed Ty Klein. Top of the batting order, up for the Braves in the 7th inning. Mackenzie looking in to get a sign from Choo-Choo Coleman. Charlie Neal is in on the edge of the grass at third base. And here is the pitch in there for a called strike 1. The Braves got out into an early lead here this afternoon on a home run by Henrietta in the top half of the 1st inning, but the Mets stormed back in the bottom of the 2nd to get 3 and held the 3-1 lead until the 6th when the Braves got 4. That pitch is low for a ball. 1-1 to Ty Klein. He was called out on strike, singled, and fouled out to third base. This pitch is a called strike. 1-2. In the top of the 6th, the Braves sent up 8 men. Pitch to Klein is foul ball. Out of play, off to the left side. Count holds at 1-2. Jay Hook worked 6 innings. He gave up 5 runs on 7 hits. He walked 5 and struck out 2. There's a pitch outside. 2-2 now to Ty Klein. Here's a pitch swung out and missed, but dropped by Coleman, and he throws on to first base just in time to get him. So making a strikeout that goes 2-3. Up the strikeout from Mackenzie. And that brings up Frank Bowling, right-hand batter. Struck out swinging, hit into a double play and single to open up the top half of that 6th inning. That pitch is inside for a ball. On that 3rd strike on Ty Klein, Choo-Choo dropped it and did not realize for a moment that Klein had started to first and had to zip it on down to Ed Craneville to get him by just about a step. That pitch is in there for a called strike. It's 1-1. And the rain has begun to fall again here at the Polo Grounds. Here's a swing, a ground ball to third, taken deep by Neal. The throw across the diamond is inside to get Bowling. 2 away. And Hank Aaron's coming up
Hit a home run in the first inning, flied to center in the fourth, and struck out swinging in the sixth. Mackenzie again starts the motion, and the pitch is low and inside for ball one. Doubleheader closing out the current brief homestand. That pitch is low to Aaron. 2 balls and no strikes to count. Mackenzie looks in for his sign. And here is the 2-0 pitch. Swung on, and it is a ground ball going through the hole into left field for a base hit. Picked up by Thomas, relayed in, turning and holding at first is Aaron, with a ground single to left, coming with 2 men out here in the top half of the 7th. That brings up cleanup batter Eddie Matthews. Was called out on strike, single to right, and a ground single up the middle in that big 6th inning. Checks now as Aaron leads. Pitch is in there for a call strike to Matthews. That pitch is low for a ball. 1-1 now to Matthews. Leads off the bag at first. Mackenzie checks him. That pitch is in there for a called strike 2. It's 1-2. Matthews batting .405 at this moment. He's off to a big start here in what he hopes will be a comeback season for him. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swung out and missed. Strike 3. Struck him out. Second strikeout from Mackenzie. In the top of the 7th, the Braves got no runs on 1 hit, no errors, and 1 left. And at the end of 6 1/2 innings of play, the score is Braves 5, the Mets 3. Why not join them? Enjoy a tall, refreshing glass of Wrangell right now as we bring you more of the baseball action with Lindsey Nelson. Okay, Ralph, and the Mets are going to send up top of the batting order Jim Hickman to see what they can do about picking up a few runs here in the 7th inning. Now it's been up. They've had their stretch, and they start the noise here to see what they can do. As Ron Shea goes into the motion, and the pitch is swung on it. Foul back into the upper deck, out of play. Jim Hickman popped out to short, had a sacrifice fly to left that drove in a run in the 2nd and struck out swinging in the bottom half of the 4th inning. Shea's pitch bounces in on one big hop, and it's 1-1. On deck is rookie Ron Hunt. As the Mets have been able to pick up only 4 hits thus far this afternoon to make them count for 3 runs. And at that left the bases loaded in the bottom half of the 3rd when they picked up 2. Pitch to Hickman is outside for a ball. It's 2 balls and 1 strike. Wind blowing across the diamond here at the Polo Grounds this afternoon from right across toward the left field stand. Shea with the pitch. That is outside, and it goes 3 balls and 1 strike to Hickman. Jim backs out, takes a look on it. Cookie Lavagetta, the coach at 3rd. Back in, wide stance at the plate. Ron Shea is a right-hander, and Hickman backs out now. Suddenly, as he got a call from Coach Cookie Lavagetta down at 3rd, and Cookie runs to the side for him again. Now he's back in. Here's a 3-1 pitch. And he took it high, ball 4. He walked him.
Back for Shea as the Mets open up here in the bottom half of the seventh, throwing a base on balls, and that brings up Ron Huck, the hero of the Mets' first victory of the season in the opening game of this series. Huck today is grounded out short to first, and he's walked twice. And Claude Raymond is up and throwing in the bullpen for the Milwaukee Braves. Raymond is a right-hander. Mets hope to keep it going here in the bottom half of the seventh as they have a situation tying run at the plate. That pitch is high to Hunt. It's ball one. Time is called by catcher Joe Torre. He goes out to the mound to try to settle Ron Shea down a little bit. Also to take up a little time here is Claude Raymond. He's throwing in the bullpen. Duke Snider is on deck for the New York Mets. The Braves 5, the Mets 3. First game of a Sunday afternoon doubleheader. The first twin bill of the season here. The second game, it'll be Lou Burdett pitching for the Braves. Galen Cisco will pitch for the Mets. Tomorrow night in Philadelphia, the Mets are going to pitch left-hander Don Rowe, giving him his first start. And youngster Paul Brown will pitch for the Phillies. Here's a pitch out of Hunt, and it's in there for a called strike. 1-1. There's a 22-year-old second baseman of the Mets. And chokes up on that bat just the least little bit. Eddie Matthews even with the bag at third. Shea checks the runner. Hickman leads at first. The pitch is swung on, fouled off to the right side and out of play. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Steps back in now. Taps the plate with the bat. Now Hunt steps back out to examine his right thumb. Apparently he's okay. Comes back in. He has a count of 1 ball and 2 strikes. And the pitch. Swung on, foul back out of play. The count holds as it was, 1-2. Shea on the mound. Wants another ball, and he gets it. Left-hander Tom Gorman firing it back out to him. Gorman, the umpire behind the plate. Now Hunt is in and waiting. Larkin not trying to hold Hickman on at first base. Pitch is swung on and missed. Strike 3. Check him out. Second strikeout for Shea. And Duke Snider is coming up representing tying run at the plate. Duke flied to right, popped to the pitcher, and lined out to right field. In the 5th inning, he hit a shot, but directly at Henry Aaron in right center field. Left-hand batter. Shea's pitch is a fastball fired outside for ball 1. Claude Raymond continues to throw in the bullpen for the Braves. There is no action in the Met bullpen at this moment. We're in the bottom half of the 7th inning. It's a swung on and missed. The Duke really cut from way back and all the way around that time. 1-1. Snider has 3 home runs this season. 4 runs batted in. Mike Thomas is on deck for the Mets. Hickman leads at first. Breaking ball misses outside. It is 2-1 to Snider. Stiffly across the field here. And it swirls up a little dust on the infield from time to time. Here's 2-1 pitch. Swung on. It's a ground ball down the line. There'll be no play on him. Snyder's going to second. There is a play on him. He is out, and Hickman holds at third base. So Hickman is at third. Snyder is out at second. As the play on Snyder went 3-5-4. Bowling made the tag. And coming up will be Frank Thomas. Snyder was on the error by Larker at first base. So charge an error to Larker on the wide throw and make the play go 5-4 from Matthews to Bowling. Thomas is up now with Hickman at third base. For Shea's pitch. Swung on and line foul. Off the wall, down the left field line. Missing by just a few feet. Ball by Snyder was hit down the line. It was knocked down by Locker, and in throwing to Shea covering at first, he threw wide. And so Snyder was on first by virtue of that error by Locker, and then the ball way across the diamond was picked up by Matthews, who had no play at third on Hickman, who had outraced McMillan to the bag, and then Matthews threw on to second as Snyder was trying to pick up the extra base, and Snyder was out at second as the throw went to Bowling there, who made the tag. Thomas with a check swing pop up to the right side, and Corey comes out and makes the catch. Shea also crashes into him and goes down on the ground, but the side is retired as Thomas has fouled out to catcher Joe Torre, and in the bottom half of the second, the Mets get no runs on no hit. That was one error and one man left. And at the end of 7, the score is the Braves 5, the Mets 3. With nobody on. And now going to the top half of the 8th inning, Tommy Aaron is coming up to bat for Norm Larker to face the left-hander, Ken Mackenzie. Aaron's a right-hand batter. Swings and pops one up towards second base. Ron Hutt is over, and so is Ed Cranepool. Cranepool chases it in and makes the catch. That will bring up left-hand batter Lee May, with the Braves batting here in the top half of the 8th and leading by a score of 5-3. The end of 8 innings, the Detroit Tigers lead the Boston Red Sox 5-2. Hanky Gary for Detroit. Monboquette started for Boston. LeMahieu in the 6th, Tolstad in the 8th. Lee May swings and misses for strike 1. That American League game, Norm Cash has homered, and so has Tillman. Mackenzie with the pitch, and it's low for a ball. 1-1 to May. Baltimore at the end of 7.5 innings, the Orioles 7, the Cleveland Indians nothing. McDowell starts for Cleveland, Perry in the 1st, Allen in the 5th, Ramos in the 8th. Barber is scoring for Baltimore. Lee May swings and fouls the ball out of play, ground ball down the first baseline. 1-2 to count to him. Chicago, the Minnesota Twins lead the White Sox 5-0 at the end of 5.5, rolling against Fisher. That's the first game of a doubleheader. Counts to Lee May here, 1-2. And there's a swing and a miss. He struck him out. Third strikeout for Mackenzie since he came on. 2 men out, nobody on base for the Milwaukee Braves. And Joe Torre is coming up. Kansas City at the end of 4 innings. The Los Angeles Angels 5 and the Kansas City A's 1. Don Lee against Ted Boasfield. Torres and Wagner have homered in that ball game. Check swing, and the ball is taken for ball 1 by Torre at the plate. The Braves 5, the Mets 3. Mackenzie with the pitch swung on, and it's a fly ball to right. Snyder with a long run, still coming in the warning track. One has it for the out that retires the side. Top of the 8th. The Braves got no runs on no hits, no errors, and none left at the end of 7.5. The score is the Braves 5, the Mets 3. Mets is sending up Ed Cranepool to lead off here. Young first
1 for 2 in the sacrifice today. Left-hand batter facing right-hand pitcher Ron Shea. It's fired low and inside for ball 1. Tommy Aaron is staying in the game at first base for the Milwaukee Braves. That pitch is low. It's 2-0. Aaron batted for Norm Larker and stays in at first. There's a pitch in there for a called strike. It's 2-1. Double barrel action in the bullpen of the Mets now. It is Carl Willie and Roger Craig, both right-handers. Rod Raymond up and throwing again in the bullpen for the Milwaukee Braves. That pitch is a called strike. 2-2 to Cranepool. Shea is the third Milwaukee pitcher of the day. Tony Cloninger started. There's a swing and a drive deep to left center. Aaron going way back, but he can't get to this one. One off to the green wall in center. Cranepool round second. He's on his way to third, and he is being held up at third base. Falls down and crawls on his hands and knees back to third base. By Ed Cranepool, the left center field. One hop to the low green wall in front of the right center field bleachers. Henry Aaron up with it out there. Cranepool rounded third, was held up by Coach Cookie Lavagetta. Lay motionless for a second on the ground, and then no play was made on him, but he crawled on his hands and knees on all fours back to third base safely. Choo Coleman, a left-hand batter, is coming up now. Representing tying run at the plate for the New York Mets. Shea lines and fires, and it's high for a ball. The Braves lead by a score of 5-3. Choo Coleman grounded out, popped out, and struck out today. He's heading for 3. That was Cranepool's second hit of the day. Shea with the pitch. It misses high and away. 2 balls, no strike. Choo Coleman. Rod Raymond continues to throw in the bullpen. Charlie Neal is on deck now for the Mets. Shea with a pitch that misses way outside and low for ball 3. Joe Torre calls time, goes to the mound. Bobby Bragan comes out of the dugout, takes one of his frequent trips to the mound. Bragan arriving there. Going way back, but he can't get to this one. One hop to the green wall in center. Cranepool round second. He's on his way to third. And he is being held up at third base, falls down, and falls on his hands and knees back to third base. A tremendous wallop by Ed Cranepool, the left center field. One hop to the low green wall in front of the right center field bleachers. Henry Aaron up with it out there. Cranepool rounded third, was held up by Coach Cookie Lavagetta. Lay motionless for a second on the ground, and then no play was made on him, but he crawled on his hands and knees on all fours back to third base safely. Choo Coleman, a left-hand batter, is coming up now. Representing tying run at the plate for the New York Mets. Shea lines and fires, and it's high for a ball. The Braves lead by a score of 5-3. Choo Coleman
popped out and struck out today. He's nothing for 3. That was Painful's second hit of the day. Shea with the pitch. It misses high and away. 2 balls, no strike. Choo-choo Coleman. Continues to throw in the bullpen. Charlie Neal is on deck now for the Mets. Shea with a pitch that misses way outside and rolling for ball 3. Joe Torre calls time, goes to the mound. Bobby Bregan comes out of the dugout, makes one of his frequent trips to the mound. Bregan arriving there now. Yankees have defeated the Washington Senators 7-6. Bowden is the winner in relief of Terry, and Bronstadt is the loser. And the Baltimore Orioles have shut out the Cleveland Indians 7-0. Steve Barber is the winner, going all the way, and Sam McDowell, the starter, is the loser. Jackie Grant had a home run that game in the 7th with nobody on for Baltimore. Now Tom Gorman here has gone out to the mound. See if he can hurry things up a little bit, but Bregan now tells him he wants to go to the bullpen and bring in Claude Raymond. So it'll be Raymond coming in here in relief of Shea with a count of 3 balls and no strike on Choo-Choo Coleman at the plate. And as Raymond makes the long walk in order to allow our stations to identify themselves, we pause now for station identification.
This is WGY 10 on your radio dial, the General Electric station in Schenectady.
Claude Raymond coming on now to relieve Ron Shea. And the situation will be Ed Kranepool at third, nobody out, and a count of 3 balls and no strikes on Choo-Choo Coleman with the Braves leading by 2 runs here. Do you know why Rheingold tastes so good? Well, dry tells you why. It tells you that Rheingold is brewed the long, slow, costly way for a flavor that's brisk and bright and clean, clear through. Bobby Bregan leaves the mound to go back to the dugout. Torre is getting checked out with Claude Raymond. It was against Raymond that Ron Hunt delivered his game-winning double when he drove in the tying and winning runs in the first game of this series, but Frank Buck, who had put them on, was charged with the loss. The blow actually came off Claude Raymond, so he was not the loser because Buck had put the runners on, but the fatal base hit came off him. As he gets warmed up, one more American League score for you. The Detroit Tigers defeated the Boston Red Sox 5-2. Hank Cherry the winner, Billy Monfort gets the loser. And here, now Choo-Choo Coleman steps in with a count of 3 balls and no strikes. Claude Raymond looks into Torrey to get the side. Kranepool leads at third, and the pitch is ball 4. He walked it. Milwaukee starts against Ron Shea in as much as the count was 3 balls, no strikes when Raymond came in, and now Charlie Neal is up here with the potential tying runs on base. Neal singled to right to drive in 2 runs in the second inning.
He's a right-hand batter. Choo-Choo leads at second. Crane Boo leads at third. Raymond Fitch is in there for a call strike to Charlie Neal. Ike Fisher is now throwing in the bullpen for Milwaukee. Roger Craig and Carl Willie continue to throw in the bullpen for the Mets. There's a throw over. Choo-Choo's back safely at first base. Raymond is now up and comes set. Renner's lead. Here's a throw over, and Choo-Choo gets back. The throw is in the dirt. Taken on a short hop and dug up by Tommy Aaron at first base. So Raymond now takes a moment to rub up the ball, look around the outfield. Blowing on his pitching hand. Warm it up a little bit. The pitch to Neal. Swung on and lined to right field for a base hit. Crane Boo comes on to score. Coleman is on his way to third base. Mike takes the turn. He's being held up, and Neal pulls up at second base with a double. Henry Aaron had to chase the ball all the way to the corner. It's 5-4, and the Mets have runners at second and third with nobody out in the eighth inning, and shortstop Al Moran is coming up. Braves 5, the New York Mets 4, and the Mets have the potential tying run at third, the potential go-ahead run at second. Nobody out. Moran, the shortstop, is the batter. Time is called for the moment, and Moran backs out as they look into the dugout. They see Single standing on the steps. Ted Schreiber is getting a bat. Ted Schreiber is getting a bat at the bat rack for the New York Mets. They need to get that man in from third if they're going to tie up this ball game. You can do it with a fly ball to the outfield. You can do it with a base hit. You can do it a number of ways, but Moran is being called back. Moran has walked, struck out, swinging, and grounded out third to first. So Schreiber is rubbing the handle of the bat with the pine tar rag in the dugout. Umpire Tom Gorman checking his lineup cards as Schreiber comes out. Schreiber has a .250 batting average thus far this season. He's been up 12 times and he has 3 hits. Casey Single now with the jacket on and hands set deeply in the jacket pocket, walks out to the on-deck circle to have a word with Schreiber. To talk to him, very likely. The idea is to tell him to try to get that ball to that outfield, try to get a pitch up above the waist there somewhere so he can get it up into the air. Choo-Choo Coleman, the base runner at third, has excellent speed. Nobody out here. Claude Raymond continues to warm up, waiting for Schreiber. The Milwaukee Braves keep the infield back. At first base against the right-hand batter, they keep Tommy Aaron even with the bag. But if he goes to the right side, they can drive the play at the plate. Schreiber with a wide stance is in and swinging the back now. The crowd is alive as you can hear. Claude Raymond looks at Coleman at third, starts the pitching motion straight away. Swung on, it's a foul ball coming back. Could be a play for Curry. Could be a play for Matthews. Curry near the dugout, can't get it. Hits on top of the dugout and bounds into the stand. And the wind has carried that one across there a little bit, and it hit on the roof of the dugout. And it is simply strike one to Schreiber. He wasted no time swinging the bat. Tommy Aaron goes over to check now with Claude Raymond before going back to his position at first. The Mets trying to get Choo-Choo Coleman in from third base. As they trail by 1 run here in the bottom half of the 8th inning. First game of a doubleheader at the Polo Ground. Pitcher Ken Mackenzie is due up next for the New York Mets. Raymond looking in to get a side from Corey. As it starts the motion, runners lead second and third. Pitch to the call, strike 2, a breaking ball that was over the plate. It's a 2 strike down now to Schreiber. Nobody out for the Mets, batting in the bottom half of the 8th inning. Schreiber digging in once again. 2 Juicer creeping down the line at third, ever so carefully. Matthews starts to move over toward the bag, and Coach Turkey Lavagetta warns Juicer. Now here's a pitch to Schreiber. Breaking ball, he checked it. Started to go, held up, and takes it for ball one. It's 1-2. Raymond kicks at the dirt on the rubber. Looks around. They're playing Schreiber almost straight away. That sets out on the plate and starts to swing it. Hank Fisher still throwing in the bullpen. Once again, the pitching motion, the 1-2 pitch. Fired high. That's ball 2-2. Charlie Neal, the base runner at second. Coleman, the base runner at third. Charlie Neal has driven in 3 of the 4 runs that the Mets have here today. Charlie has 2 hits. The man of the moment is Ted Schreiber with a count of 2-2. Here's the pitch. Swung out at the fly ball to short right field. Choo-Choo tags up there and getting in position next to catch. Choo-Choo comes down the line, draws the throw, and goes back. So there is no advance and one away. Wasn't deep enough really to allow Choo-Choo to come on. Then Mackenzie's due up. Gonna be Tim Hartnett. A first baseman by trade and a left-hand batter. Tim Hartnett is coming up. Carl Willie, a right-hander. Roger Craig, a right-hander. Throwing in the bullpen for the Mets. Has been up 18 times, has 3 hits, batted in 1 run. The opening game of this series, he was inserted as a pinch hitter, bottom half of the 9th inning, and he hit one a ton that was caught way out in right center field, and they got to put him on. He's being intentionally walked. He is being intentionally passed to load him up. Jim Hickman, the right-hand batter, is due up next year, and Harkness is being tagged. Sets up for a possibility of the double play as well with 1 man out here. So Reagan playing the percentages all the way around by intentionally walking Tim Harkness. Ball 4 and Harkness goes down to first base. It's Neal at second. Coleman at third. Hickman is coming up. We're getting a change now in left field. Lee May is going out. And Ian Gabrielson is coming in to play left field for the Milwaukee Braves. And we're getting a runner now for the Mets. Rod Cannell coming in at first base to run for Tim Hartnett. Casey Stengel trying to get a little more speed on there to try to cut down the chance of a double play. Jim Hickman steps into the batter's box. Bases loaded, 1 man out. Raymond with a breaking ball low and away for ball 1. Jim Hickman has popped the short today, had a sacrifice fly to left to drive in a run in the second, struck out swinging in the 4th, and walked in the bottom of the 7th. Pitching to the right-hand batter. Starts the motion. Runners lead. Here's a swing and a ball. Deep to left. It is way back there. Going, and it is a home run. A grand slammer for Jim Hickman. A home run for Hickman, the first grand slammer of the season. Choo-Choo Coleman scores. Charlie Neal scores. Rod Cannell scores. And Jim Hickman gets congratulations from the delegation at home plate. He gets a handshake from Jim Snyder. A grand slammer by Hickman up on the rooftop in left field. The first grand slammer of his lifetime. You should see these fans at the Polo Grounds. It is unbelievable. A ground crew is having to go out and
papers that are being showered down from the upper deck. Mrs. Jones Payson laughing, looking around from her box down behind first base. It's a happy crowd at the Polo Grounds. Jim Hickman has hit the first Grand Slam home of his young lifetime. And the New York Mets are out in front here by a score of 8-5. The ground crew is still picking up the papers that have been showered out of the upper deck in left field. The Braves standing motionless for the most part, waiting until this score has been completed. And Ron Hunt is just outside the batter's box. The Mets lead by a score of 8-5. As Raymond starts the motion, and the pitch is high. One of those runs was charged against Shea, and three of them charged against Claude Raymond. The man throwing in the bullpen now is Roger Craig, because the Mets would like to hold on to this one. They've taken the lead, and that's why Casey had him warming up. And he is hit by a quick ball. Ron Hunt caught by a side when he is not hurt. Tipping across the front of his shirt there. He goes down to first. That brings up Duke Snyder. Still only one man out for the Mets, batting in the bottom half of the eighth inning. Well, the Mets had a lead. They lost it, and they have battled back and taken a bigger lead. Here's the pitch to Snyder. It's high for ball one. Ron Hunt standing on the bag at first. Tommy Aaron holding against the runner there. Raymond checked him, and here's the pitch to the Duke. Swung on it. The ground ball to Aaron. He one-handed. He'll have to go to first, and he goes to Raymond, who makes the play at first base in time to get Snyder, moving Hunt on to second. Two men out, and Frank Thomas is coming up. You'll recall that Met pitcher Ken Mackenzie was removed for the pinch hitter. So the runs that are being scored in this inning belong to Mackenzie as far as the pitcher of record is concerned. Mackenzie is the pitcher of record as the Mets take this lead. He was the winning pitcher in relief for the Mets in the opening game of this series. Here's the pitch to Thomas. It's in there for a called strike. This is the biggest inning of the season for the New York Mets. Statistically, their biggest inning of this season. 5 runs scored by the New York Mets here. A change that goes outside. It's 1-1. Has had 2 hits today. He's been on base 3 times. Sidearm pitch to tie. 2-1. Roger Craig still throwing in the bullpen. Pause for a moment to look in. Casey Stengel had Roger down there in case the Mets could get out in front. He wanted to bring Craig in relief to try to hang on to it, and that's his intention now. It's 2-1 pitch swung on. Pull on the ground foul. Down past Mets coach Cookie Lavagetta at third. Cookie's going to retrieve it. It's entirely possible that Grand Slammer could do a great deal for Jim Hickman. Jim looked great in the spring, and then the first few games of the early season appeared to be a little nervous getting started, and a Grand Slam home of the first of his life could do a lot for his confidence. Pitch is swung on. It's a foul ball off to the left side, going way upstairs and on the rooftop. And now it rebounds back down into the crowd in the lower deck. Count is 2-2 to Thomas with 2 men out. Ron Hunt, the base runner, is second. Raymond checks the runner, and the 2-2 pitch.
Swung on it. Fly ball to center field. Lining it up his tie line. He makes the catch and he's out. That's the New York Mets. And the bottom half of the eighth got 5 runs. On 3 hits. No errors. And 1 left. And at the end of 8 innings of play, the score is the New York Mets 8 and the Milwaukee Braves 5. And coming in here now to carry you the rest of the way is Ralph Kiner. All fans, the 1963 official New York Met yearbook is now available. This colorful book with Mr. Met on the front cover contains over 100 pictures and includes biographical and statistical data about your favorite Met players. In addition, there are stories about Casey Stengel, the coaches of the ball club, Shea Stadium, the new scoreboard at Shea Stadium, highlights of the 1962 season, the farm clubs, the men behind the scenes, and many other interesting stories and facts. You know, there's a complete page of players' autographs. This book will be a welcome addition to any baseball fan's library, and I'm sure it'll settle many of those arguments you get into during the coming season. To obtain your copy of the 1963 yearbook, send 50 cents for each copy to Met Yearbook, Bowling Grounds, New York, 39, New York. Also, the yearbook is available at the Pennsylvania Station Ticket Outlet and the Grand Central Station Ticket Outlet. Well, at the top of the 9th inning, the Mets with 5 runs in the bottom half of the 8th have taken over the lead 8-5. And some changes in the lineup for the Mets. It'll be Roger Craig in as the pitcher in place of Ken Mackenzie, who was taken out for a pinch hitter. Also, Joe Hodges has been inserted at first base. Ed Schreiber, who came in the game as a pinch hitter, has stayed in the game. He'll be at third base. Johnny Neal moved from third to shortstop. Rod Cannell, who was a pinch runner, has gone in left field. And, of course, Roger Craig is in the game as a pitcher. Roger, in trying to defend this lead for the Mets, will pitch to Roy McMillan, then a pinch hitter, and then the leadoff man, Ty Klein. Mets with a 3-run lead at the top of the 9th inning. Roger Craig's 4th game. He has worked a total of 22 innings. And his first pitch to Roy McMillan is outside and high for ball 1. In 22 innings, Roger has given up 27 hits. He has allowed 11 runs, 10 earned. He has a record of no wins and 2 losses. Roger in his first relief appearance for the Mets, and he comes back to the plate with a strike for strike one. Has flied out deep to center field in his only official appearance to the plate. Now Roger 1-1 back again and a tie for ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. Roy has walked twice. Now Craig into the windup and back with a 2-1 pitch. Just missing outside with a slider. That moves the count to 3 balls and 1 strike. Don Dillard in the on-deck circle for the Milwaukee Braves in place of pitcher Claude Raymond. Now there's the strike call. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Roger working to Roy McMillan. He didn't like the call. Well, this ball game has seen just about everything. Just don't know how you can pack any more excitement in one game. Now Craig back to work, and he misses low, ball 4. So Roger walks his first man. He has a 3-run lead here in the top of the 9th. That will bring up Don Dillard as a pinch hitter for Claude Raymond. Dillard in his first appearance for the Milwaukee Braves singled to right field as a pinch hitter against the Mets in the first game. Acquired from Cleveland now, bats from the left-hand side. He swings and fouls the first pitch away for strike 1. He did not see any action during spring training, being sidelined with an infection. Now appearing for the second time this year. McMillan at first base, not being held on by Gil Hodges. A pitch back to strike call. Roger Craig with 2 quick strikes to Don Dillard, the on-deck batter, Ty Klein. Braves need 3 to tie. Mets with 5 runs in the bottom half of the 8th inning to take the lead away. Here's the 2-strike pitch. Again, a foul ball. Now Stain at 0-2 as Dixie Walker runs over to pick up the ball by the first base coaching box. Now Gil Hodges going in to talk to Roger Craig. Gil playing at first base in place of Eddie Cranepool. Here's a final score. The Cincinnati Reds defeated Pittsburgh 8-3. Maloney was the winning pitcher in that ball game. The losing pitcher, the starter for the Pittsburgh Pirates, Al McBean. Now Roger backing outside for ball 1. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Two strikes. Roger Craig to Don Dillard, and the pitch to the plate as a curveball swung on and fouled off the glove of Choo-Choo Coleman. So Dillard just barely stays alive. A pitcher of record on the winning side for the Mets, Ken Mackenzie. He came in the game in the 7th inning, worked 2 innings, gave up only 1 hit. He allowed no runs. He struck out 2 and walked none. Jay Hook was the starting pitcher. He went 6 innings, was charged with all 5 of the Braves runs. Now the pitch back, a foul ball again. It's out of play, and the count stays at 1-2. Jay was the victim of a real close disputed play at third base. Play that saw Al Moran, the shortstop who made the play there, and Casey Stengel argue very vehemently with umpire Al Foreman. There's a pitch back outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Foreman called the runner safe at third base. That would have been the 3rd out of the inning. And Jay would have gotten out of the inning with the score tied at 3-3. He gave up a wild pitch and scored 2 runs later on. The Braves took over the lead by a score of 5-3. But the Mets got Jay off the hook with 5 in the bottom half of the 8th. Here's a pitch back, a curve. It's rolling down to third. The third baseman juggles the ball, picks it up, goes across in time. Ted Schreiber juggled the ball, but not too long. Picked it up, got his man at first base. He's the important run. Moving on down to second base, unmolested on the play, Roy McMillan. 1 out now, and the batter's coming up, the center fielder, Ty Klein. No chance for double play on the slowly hit ground ball off the left-hand batter. Ty Klein, a left-hand batter, 1 hit and 4 times up. One man out here, top of the 9th inning. The score 8-5 in favor of the Mets. They're working on a 2-game winning streak. Here's the first pitch to Klein, a fastball outside. 1 ball and no strikes. Roger in the stretch position. A look at second base and back to the plate outside. It's ball 2. 2 balls and no strikes. Roger working to tie Klein. The important man, the on-deck man, he represents the tying run. If Klein gets on, the tying run will come to the plate. Now it's 2-0. And it's high for ball 3. Roger behind now, 3 balls and no strikes. Carl Woolley up and going in the bullpen for the Mets. He was warming up with Roger in the bottom half of the 8th inning. balls and no strikes. Klein looking for the side. He'll get the take side. He'll be taking all the way. And Fisher warming up and throwing now for the Milwaukee Braves. Now the 3-0 pitch. Right through there for strike one. This time JoJo White not even looking at Klein. 3 balls and 1 strike. White, the third base coach. Takes iron on all the way. You got to bet that. Now Roger 3-1 to the plate. He misses for ball 4, and that brings the tying run to the plate. And it brings Casey Stengel out to the mound. Well, we have a tough man coming up, Frank Bowling. He has 1 hit and 4 times up. He has a 10-game batting streak going, and he has made 10 hits in 23 trips to the plate against the New York Mets. After bowling Hank Aaron, so Roger Craig in a real jam here now as he has to defend against the Milwaukee Braves. Roger came in the ball game in the 9th inning in place of Ken Mackenzie. And he walked Roy McMillan, his first man. He got Don Dillard on the bouncing ball to third. Now he has walked Jack Klein to give the Braves runners at first and second base. With a 289 average. He bats from the right-hand side. Infield back looking for a double play. And the first pitch by Roger Craig. On the outside corner, a slider for strike one. Runs in this game. First game of a doubleheader. The Mets have scored 8. Roger back to the plate, missing low with a slider. 1 ball and 1 strike. Roger, a long look at the signs from Choo-Choo Coleman now in the stretch position. Here's the 1-1 pitch, a slider that's fouled away out of play. While we wait for Roger Craig to put a new ball in play, we'll pause for station identification.
This is WGY 10 on your radio dial, the General Electric station in Schenectady.
Shiner along with Bob Murphy and Lindsey Nelson from the Polo Grounds. It's the top of the 9th inning. The Mets lead 8-5, but the Milwaukee Braves have runners at first and second, and Frank Bowling batting. Roger Craig looking for the side. He has a 1-2 count on the right-hand batter. Now here's the stretch. And the pitch. Line down the left field line, but foul by about 6 inches. Charging around from third base is Roy McMillan. He stopped. Going all the way to third base on the line foul, Guy Klein. That was a line shot, a dive by the third baseman, Ted Schreiber, but the ball went over the bag in fair territory, but curved and landed for the first time in foul territory. Takes this one, and he's set. Again, the 1-2 pitch, a fastball that's low for ball 2. In the on-deck circle, Hank Aaron. Three hours of exciting baseball. Boy, what a game this has been. Lead changing hands 4 times. Now Roger at 2-2. A curveball just missing for ball 3. It's just outside. Roger thought he had that one. So it's a full count now. 3 balls and 2 strikes. Roger pitching at 3-2. Now set. And the pitch, to Frank Foley. Hit hard to third, a chance for two. Over to second in time. The first base is time. The double play. Roger Craig on 3 and 2, getting Frank Foley to hit into a double play, and that ends the inning. And also ends the ball game. The Mets win it 8-5. For the Milwaukee Braves, no runs, no hits. There were no errors, 2 walks, 2 men left on base. And the final score of the game, the New York Mets 8, the Milwaukee Braves 5. And the Mets now have won 3 in a row. The Braves have lost 3 in a row. And the Mets have equaled their all-time winning streak. While the Mets are playing fine baseball now, it's been exciting all through the season. This game, a tremendous ball game. They'll go on the road after the second game here today and play in Philadelphia 1 game, in Chicago for 2, and Pittsburgh for 3. Then they will return home for a tremendous series against the Los Angeles Dodgers. The Dodgers coming in for 2 night games, the first 2 night games of the year, April 29th on Monday and April 30th on Tuesday. The Dodgers bringing in Maury Wills, Tommy Davis, Sandy Koufax, and Don Drysdale. So if you haven't made your reservations or purchased your tickets for these 2 exciting games or any of the games coming up this season, you better do so. 3 convenient locations, downtown at Pennsylvania Station, also downtown at Grand Central Station, and also right here at the Polo Grounds. The ticket office open 7 days a week. And now a big hand for Jim Hickman, who is talking to Lindsey Nelson. Jim with a grand slam home run. Well, the final score of this game, 8-5. And now a word from Viceroy Cigarettes.
We're the Brothers Ford. We're singing out a Viceroy melody. Bob Viceroy's brand new slide top case, as modern as can be. Now Viceroy, press the face with the one and only slide top case. Slide open, slide shut tight. The crush proof slide top case. That's right, that's right, that's right. Slide, take a light. Slide, shut the tight. Slide top case exclusive. Still the only crush proof in the land is the Viceroy slide with the case that's right. Slide inside. Slide open. Slide shut tight. The Viceroy slide top case that's right. Viceroy takes away you like a billion cigarettes to take. Not too strong, not too light. Viceroy's got that taste that's right. That's right, that's right. Viceroy.
And for a ball game, it's right here at the Polo Grounds. The Mets won at 8-5. Of course, the big blow of the ball game was a grand slam home run by Jim Hickman. Jim had quite a day. He drove in 5 runs, 1 with a sacrifice fly, and he hit his first grand slam home run in his major league career. The ball game started out with the Milwaukee Braves taking the lead by a score of 1-0 on a home run by Hank Aaron. That was his 3rd home run of the year, his 3rd off the pitching of the New York Mets. And the Mets bounced back to take it over when they scored 3 runs in the bottom half of the second inning off of Tony Cloninger. There were 3 hits in the inning, 1 by Frank Thomas, 1 by Ed Craneful, and 1 by Charlie Neal. Charlie Neal driving in 2 runs with his, and then Charlie later on scoring on a sacrifice fly by Jim Hickman. That's the way the game stood, 3-1 in favor of the Mets until the 6th inning, when the Milwaukee Braves, aided by a very close call, a safe call at third base, took over the lead by scoring 4 runs on 4 hits. 2 of the runs, the 2 lead runs, scoring on a wild pitch by starting pitcher Jay Hook. The Braves then led at that point by a score of 5-3, and that's the way it stood until the bottom half of the 8th inning. In the bottom half of the 8th inning, with Ron Shea on the mound, the Mets started off on a triple by Ed Craneful to right center field. A long drive there. Then Claude Raymond came in the ball game with a 3-0 count on Choo-Choo Coleman. He completed the walk to give the Mets runners at first and third base. Then Charlie Neal doubled down the right field line to score Ed Craneful and move Choo-Choo Coleman over to third. Al Moran then was taken out for a pinch hitter. Ted Schreiber coming in, and Schreiber flied out to right field, too shallow to allow Charlie Neal to score from second base, or third base, I should say. Then Tim Harkness was put in the ball game as a pinch hitter in place of Ken Mackenzie, and Harkness walked. That gave the Mets runners at first, second, and third base. Tutu Coleman at third base, Charlie Neal at second base, and Harkness at first. He was taken out for a pinch runner, Rod Cannell running for him. This was the move that led to the winning of the ball game for the Mets, as Bobby Bragan took out a chance to pitch to a left-hand batter, Tim Harkness, and gave Jim Hickman a chance to bat with the bases loaded. Jim came through with a long drive right down the left field line, a grand slam home run to put the Mets out in front. They took the lead at that point by a score of 8-5, and that's the way it stood until the ball game ended in the ninth inning. In the ninth inning, a real tough ninth inning for Roger Craig. Roger Craig started the inning by walking Roy McMillan. He then got Don Dillard on the ground ball to third, but then he walked Guy Klein to bring the time run to the plate, Frank Bowling. On a 3-2 count to Frank Bowling, he got him to hit a hard smash to third, which was turned into a double play, and it gave the Mets their win 8-5, their third in a row. The winning pitch in the ball game was Ken Mackenzie. His record now 2-0, his second win in relief against the Milwaukie Braves here at the Bowler Ground. The losing pitcher was Claude Raymond. He is now 2-1. Jay Hook was the starting pitcher for the Mets. Ken Mackenzie came on in the seventh inning to win it. Roger Craig was in relief in the ninth. For the Milwaukee Braves, Tony Cloninger was in the game as a starting pitcher. He went 1 2/3 innings, giving up 3 runs and 3 hits. Denny LeMaster then came on in the second inning with 2 men out. He was 2 1/3 innings, giving up no runs and no hits. Ron Shea was in for 3 innings. He gave up 2 hits and 2 runs, and then Claude Raymond was the losing pitcher as he worked in the ninth inning to give up, I should say, in the eighth inning to give up 3 runs on only 1 base hit. So the final score of the ball game, the New York Mets 8 runs on 7 hits. They made 1 error. The Braves made 5 runs on 8 hits and 2 errors in the ball game. We'll be back for the second game of this doubleheader in just about 20 minutes. The starting pitchers for the game will be Lou Burdette going for the Milwaukee Braves. He is 2-0, and pitching for the Mets, trying to extend their winning streak to 4 games, will be Galen Cisco.